sultry Saturday afternoon in Music City. We are primed for an SEC showdown as the #1 ranked team in the country. The Alabama Crimson Tide arrives with its tens of thousands of faithful. They look to take over the stadium, and they are here to see this man. Jalen Milroe has established himself as one of the best in college football. Diego Pavia on the other side for Vandy. A swashbuckling Johnny Manziel clone is looking for the game of his lifetime. It's Vandy and Alabama next from Nashville. Looking for its first win against #1. Welcome to SEC football presented by Sonic. Crimson Tide has rolled in and taken over the stadium, as you might expect. They are #1, 4-0 on this season, with a defining win a week ago tonight against Georgia, and Vandy played Missouri tough last time out. Clark Lee and his Commodores looking to make some history. They haven't knocked off Bama since 1984. Should be a fun one today on this Sun Splash Saturday as Vandy looks to get some momentum after an opening week upset against Virginia Tech and get back in that win column. With that, we welcome to the broadcast booth Tom Hart, Cole Kublik, and Alyssa laying down on the field. And what we have with Jalen Milroe, Cole, is a quarterback who's gotten better from last year. He's embraced this new offense, and he's really hitting at a high rate right now.
Well, Tom, he's still going to be the most athletic player on the field, maybe the fastest player on the field in certain instances, but he's developed as a passer. He's developed as a quarterback. The patience in the pocket, the understanding of the intermediate throws has come leaps and bounds for Jalen Milroe. And I think being able to walk in his head coach's office and speak his language is something that's really allowed him to grow as an individual player.
And on the other side for Vanderbilt, as they look to make history, Diego Pavia comes in exuding confidence. Johnny Manziel is his favorite player. He wears #2. He is a swashbuckler who can really get this team moving.
He's just a playmaker. I mean, we hear about gamers all the time. Not that he doesn't practice hard, even though sometimes it's with the D linemen. But this guy can go out and make you pay in multiple ways, with his legs, running over you, with his arm. He's just a football player. Anxious to see what he can do against this Alabama defense this afternoon.
And Alyssa, with a big-name program coming in, Diego Pavia hasn't changed a single thing about his routine.
Yeah, Tom, this is the type of game that Diego Pavia has been dreaming about since childhood. You mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. He watched Johnny Manziel tear up the SEC, wanting to be just like him one day. In fact, he's so excited about this matchup. Vanderbilt coming off of a bye week, and Diego didn't take that plane ticket home that he had originally booked, staying in Nashville to get as mentally and physically prepared as possible when it comes to facing this #1 team in the country. You mentioned the routine doesn't change for #1. He told us he gets to the facility, he gets taped up, he watches Johnny Manziel highlights followed by his own from last season. Why is that significant? He was the quarterback at New Mexico State a year ago, and you'll remember they went to Auburn, Alabama and pulled one of the upsets of the year last year. He's got 60+ family and friends here to watch this game today, and I'm told the sentiment from the Pavia party, you've already beaten Auburn once. Why not add Alabama to the mix?
Well, they make it sound pretty easy. Nobody in that family seems to be lacking for confidence. Pavia was the CUSA Player of the Year last year at New Mexico State. Alabama won the toss, has elected to defer, so we'll see Diego Pavia and Vandy get the football to get things started here this afternoon. And history continues to be written at Alabama. Would you believe this stat, Cole Kublik? Kalen DeBoer takes the field today, leading the #1 team in the country. And honestly, with all their national titles, that has not happened that many times in Alabama history. He is just the 3rd Alabama head coach, despite all of their championships, to lead Alabama into a game with the #1 ranking. Saban did it 98 times. Bear did it 24 times, and the poll dates all the way back to 1936. Your jaw was on the floor when we shared that with you last night.
This is astonishing. No Gene Stallings, no Frank Thomas. I just thought you might get a Ray Perkins up there for at least a game or two. Multiple coaches with national championships at Alabama that did not coach as the AP #1.
They have played more games as #1 than any other program in college football. Their last loss to an unranked team came to Texas A&M in 21. Okay, well, that's a look for today. The Vanderbilt student section certainly stands out. Their black and gold covers just one sliver of First Bank Stadium, the first college football-only stadium erected in the South in 1922. It is a construction zone continuing, and so is, in many ways, this Vanderbilt program under Clark Lee. Didn't win a conference game last year. Connor Talty set to kick it off. Junior Sherrill is back for Vanderbilt. Remember, they beat Virginia Tech here at home to open the season and lost in double overtime 2 weeks ago to Missouri, and they're coming off of a bye week and an opportunity to hit the reset button, getting ready for Alabama. Already some trash talking early. We expect a lot of that from Diego Pavia. He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Had 0 FBS offers coming out of Volcano Vista High School, so he ended up going the JUCO route for a couple of years. Started there as a third stringer, then earned the job at New Mexico State and was magnificent. And now guiding this pistol option offense led by offensive coordinator Tim Beck. This is a run-heavy offense for this Vanderbilt team. And they keep it on the ground on first down and maybe 3 yards. Call it 2+ for Cedric Alexander.
Nice job inside, Tim Keenan. Staying in your rush lane is going to be important, Tom. You mentioned it. A little bit of an option look. You're going to get veer looks. Kane Womack, defensive coordinator for Alabama, telling me before the game there's not going to be as much movement pre-snap. We're not going to stem as much as we did last week against Georgia. We want our cleats in the ground, understanding what our assignments are on every play.
Eli Stowers and Cole Spence, a tight end, shift to the other side. Remember, Stowers was a 4-star recruit as a quarterback at Texas A&M before going to New Mexico State last year. And they go with the jet sweep, and A.J. Newberry found a little bit of room and gets wrestled down at the 35 by Deontay Lawson. That'll be a Vanderbilt first down on its second play of the game.
It's an excellent job by the Alabama defense late, sort of leveraging that ball back inside. Could have been an explosive play, but you see all the pre-snap movement that you're going to get. You get a shift and a trade to the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. Then you get the motion across. That eye candy, Tom, critical for this Alabama defense to be aware of, recognize, and play correctly today.
Pavia is one of the best runners regardless of position in the SEC. He's 11th in the league in total rushing yards, and he gives it up again. And there's another room up the A gap for Cedric Alexander, and that is a pickup of 7 on first down.
Tom, I think he has star capability in this league. He's got a really nice jump cut. His vision has been improving specifically through the course of this year. He's explosive. Multiple times on film, you'll see him kind of disappear at the line of scrimmage. Then he just pops out or spins out and can bust it ahead for 10-8 yards.
5'9", 200-pounder out of Austin, Texas, is the best after contact in the SEC. They call it 2nd and 4. Out of the pistol for Pavia. And Pavia calls his own number but lost his footing trying to run behind the block of Eli Stowers. That'll bring up third down. Vandy threw the ball Cole a lot fourth quarter in double overtime against Missouri, even though they're a run first team. How does their pass game match up with what they do in the run game?
Well, Pavia's got a great arm. He can make the majority of the throws. He throws an accurate deep ball. Oftentimes, though, Tom, he's one of those young men that likes to ad-lib. He has last-second decisions that can get him in trouble, but this passing game is a legitimate threat down the field.
That's the Johnny Manziel in him. 6 touchdowns, no picks, though, for Pavia so far this season. Third down 5. Play clock at 2, at 1. And he finds Alexander. Beautiful block on the edge from Stowers, and that's a first down. Pardon me, A.J. Newberry. And how about Eli Stowers trading in his quarterback position to run tight end? Gain of 14.
You mentioned it, Tom. The Texas A&M quarterback, Eli Stowers at tight end. You're going to see him over here in your screen come in, throw just kind of a late block. We'll call it a pick or a wall off. And that allows first down yardage to the outside. Once again, the understanding of Diego Pavia in this offense. He knows where he wants to go with the football right away. If the defense doesn't rotate correctly, ball's going to come out of his hands, and it creates space. That's what Tim Beck would tell you. We want to create space. Nice job of it there on that play.
Pavia ran this offense for Tim Beck at New Mexico State last year. Jared Kill was the head coach. He's now on the staff along with Beck here with Clark Lee. Empty backfield, and he hits his man on a slant. That's Quincy Skinner. And Skinner stays on his feet to fight for a few more. It turns into a 13-yard gain, and his helmet got ripped off at the end. No flag.
This little slant route to Quincy Skinner. Diego Pavia, what's the little sidearm action? Knew he was going to go with that slant. Had inside leverage on the throw. You'll see a lot of man coverage today from Alabama. And Tom, that sounds odd because Diego Pavia has those wheels. And what do you hear oftentimes? Mobile quarterback don't play man because you turn your back to him. But they want to try to defend the alleys with the safeties and take away some of those option plays.
Run heavy early on, and now to throw. Pavia hangs a U-turn in the backfield, wants to go deep, and he floats it down the sideline for a first down to Stowers. You know, you may roll your eyes if you hear the Johnny Manziel comparisons, but he looks like number 2 wearing number 2 sometimes.
Tom, he's got it in him. And that gamer aspect of just being able to create ad-lib, play action. Look at Cedric Alexander, 28, big block on the edge, still turn a defender loose, he can escape. And then Eli Stowers, he knows what a quarterback wants to do. Former elite quarterback coming out of high school, now playing tight end. This is where Diego Pavia is a massive headache for opponents.
A.J. Newberry in the backfield, opening drive for Vanderbilt, and they are marching down the field against this elite Alabama defense. Option look here, Pavia with the fake, and he takes it down near the 10. Jahad Campbell with the stop, and Alabama defense, it comes in 46 in the country against the run. They did not have a great second half against Georgia, obviously, but they haven't allowed a touchdown in the first quarter yet this year. And if Vandy can punctuate this drive with points, what a boost it would be for the upset-minded Commodores, who have never in 10 tries beaten number 1 in program history. On 2nd and 5, straight ahead. Cedric Alexander maybe just a hair short. Malachi Moore came up from his safety spot for the stop.
Tom, you'll see a play that looks exactly like that from this Vanderbilt offense today, and they'll run it 4 or 5 different ways. That time the tight end comes flat across the line of scrimmage, so it's a split zone look. You'll leave the tight end. You can also arc the tight end around the defensive end up to the linebacker. And Diego Pavia oftentimes going to put that ball out towards the backside of where that zone scheme's going and read it, and they can even change the read up. So you can imagine how difficult that is to defend visually.
Split zone option for Vanderbilt. Alexander got a blocker in front of him off the left side, lowers his shoulder and powers to the goal line. He's in, and Vandy draws first blood on a 7-yard Cedric Alexander score. Pavia perfect 3 for 3 on the drive, but the real story was the ground game and being able to grind it out against that Alabama front. Brock Taylor on for the point after. And if Bama hits snooze, the wake-up call is the opening drive for Vandy. 10 plays, 75 yards, 6:14 off the clock.
Here's your fullback right here, Gabe Fisher, early season candidate for the Lowman Trophy. PFT would be excited. And then Cedric Alexander churning the legs into the end zone for the Commodores.
Has taken the lead.
So here comes Jalen Milroe. He's got to engineer a drive. And the catch is made. Still spinning free. Touchdown Alabama. They answer in one play. Launches for the end zone. Jump ball. Intercepted. Xavier Brown, the freshman. Roll Tide.
Couple of youngsters taking center stage for Bama Saturday night. And Bryant Denny, Xavier Brown, the interception for the freshman, and the coming out party for Ryan Williams, who's been stupendous all season long, but finally getting a lot of attention because it came against Georgia with, I don't know, the entire college football world watching.
It helps when you make 2 of the most ridiculous plays that we've seen in the last 8 or 10 years of college football also. No need to get into the age. I think we all know that by now.
How old is he?
18 in February.
Brock Taylor to kick it off. Emmanuel Henderson will watch this line drive sidewinder go over his head. And don't forget about Jalen Milroe. He was absolutely fantastic against the Dogs. 27 of 33, the first player to go over 300 in the air, 200 on the ground, and run a pair in against an AP top 5 opponent. That is first player ever to put up a stat line like that.
And he was in total command of that offense, Tom. People think that the play calling maybe slowed down in the second half. Just a couple of tiny bits of execution that didn't take place late for that Alabama offense. It was there. Play calling was solid. And Jalen Milroe played outstanding.
Jam Miller is the tailback off of Milroe's right hip. And Bama will keep it on the ground on first down. Try to answer the opening drive from Vandy. Corday Sidner with the stop on Miller after a gain of 4.
Well, I tell you, watch the middle surge of that Alabama offensive line on that play. If Vanderbilt was going to play off, play deep, give up the underneath stuff like they did against Missouri 2 weeks ago, this Alabama offense wants to go right at them. And that was a pretty good indicator they're going to have success with it today on that first snap.
Williams flips sides. He's inside the numbers at the top. Milroe goes the opposite way, but it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. It's Randon Fontenette, sophomore out of Freeport, Texas, with the big knockdown, and Vandy's got Alabama in a 3rd and 6. Bama's hit on 47% of its 3rd down tries this season. Some mustard on that snap. Milroe near side, batted up, and it is intercepted. Fontenette to the corner. He's in, and Vandy's got a 2-score lead on a 28-yard interception return by Randon Fontenette. I thought he stepped out at the 1. The far official said he was over the goal line with that stretch, and it looks like it was over the line before that left foot come down. He cut it close.
Why are you even cutting it that close?
I don't know.
Just get back inside.
What a surge of early game momentum for Vanderbilt. Officially a 24-yard interception return for Fontenette. This has not been a terribly opportunistic Vanderbilt defense when it comes to the takeaways. But have they sent a message here in the opening minutes? And a doink knocks it off to the right, and a miss from the kicking game. But Vanderbilt up 13-0.
Ball tipped up. Randon Fontenette brought into this defense because they needed more dog in them. He gets the doors on the board again in Nashville.
SEC Network Football is presented by the all-new Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
To take you all the way back to 1984 for the last time Vanderbilt got a win. Bama led that game by 1 at the half. Vandy 200 yards of offense in the second half. Goo Baby Woods at 186 and a touchdown. That remains Vandy's only win in Tuscaloosa. And they haven't won against Alabama here in Nashville since 1976. Watson Brown was quarterback that day for the Commodores. No return. Let's take a look at today's Fubo TV keys to the game. This Milroe pick.
Jalen Milroe is going to get a tip ball, and you'll see just kind of zone coverage is what Vanderbilt's going to show on the back end. Clark Lee knows he's going to have to mix it up, show some different things. So a little bit of cloud coverage here, but it's going to turn into man coverage once the routes begin to break off. Little pressure off the right side. There you see the man coverage begin to lock up, and it's just an excellent play by DeRicky Wright, safety, who has played a ton of football here at Vanderbilt, getting that ball up in the air, and then obviously Randone taking it in for the pick.
DeRicky Wright out of Gadsden, Alabama, was originally an Alabama commit. Then he flipped to Ole Miss, and he ended up at Vandy. Here's Justice Haynes, and he is bottled up and goes down for a loss of 1. Brian Longwell in on the stop for the Doors.
Back to DeRicky Wright quickly, Tom. Somebody you're never going to cheer against. You always want to see good things happen for. Lost his mom a couple of years ago, has kind of taken care of his siblings since he's been in school here at Nashville. Just an incredible young man making an incredible play early in this game.
His mom was just 32 years old when she passed away due to a brain aneurysm. And now helping raise his 3 sisters. Milroe over the middle finds C.J. Dupree. He's got a lot of green. And he takes it into Vandy territory before Longwell catches up to him after 47 yards.
Boy, I love Nick Sheridan coming right back, letting Jalen Milroe go down the field again to his tight end, C.J. Dupree. So valuable to this football team. You wouldn't think he was a 500-pound bencher the way that he's running down the field there, but this tight end group helps a lot of things go for the Alabama offense. Nice throw and catch there.
Both Miller and Haynes in the backfield with Milroe. And Bama gives it to Haynes. Haynes stopped by Langston Patterson, picks up 2.5.
Thought Haynes maybe jumped outside of Caden Proctor's block a little bit too early on that play. Delay that, let the defender play out over the top in front of your big 360-pound offensive tackle, then cut back behind him, get north and south.
Miller behind Milroe now. A check to the sideline and another check. Bama wanted to be very careful with its tempo in this game this afternoon, needing to mix it up. This one to 1 on the play clock. And Miller off the left side, stopped by Longwell, who's been in on a couple of big plays for Vandy already. And that'll bring up an Alabama 3rd down.
Tom, I wonder if that may have been another bust by the right guard, kind of blocking back to the right, not going with the zone to the left and climbing up to that backside linebacker. Had a free runner at the football there. Front side was handled perfectly by Parker Brailsford and Tyler Booker.
That's the right guard, Jaden Roberts. We'll see a couple of guys in it. That right guard spot today, including Gino Vandermark off the bench at some point. 3rd down 6. Vandy drops into coverage and wide open. Dupree again. He took a lick. And Dupree, after a 17-yard gain, pardon me, Josh Cuevas, after the 17-yard gain, is shaken up. Colby Taylor absolutely unloaded on him. Cuevas, to transfer in from Washington. Started his college career at Cal Poly back in 2021, where he was 3rd team Big Sky, and he continues the evolution of his game after playing in the college football playoff last year. Colby Taylor did not hold back.
He did not, and it's a great read from Jalen Milroe, knowing that safety rotation was going to allow Cuevas to fit right in under zone coverage. Nice throw, and just boom. Colby Taylor, the Wyoming transfer, delivers a blow.
So Cuevas walks off with the athletic training staff after Kalen DeBoer came out to check on him.
You see Cuevas there, Tom. We talked about C.J. Dupree. Now you get Robbie Utes back on the field as well. It's one of the more underrated groups on this football team. And try to lean on a couple of the bigger boys on the left side of this offensive line now and shove this ball into the end zone.
Caden Proctor and Tyler Booker, 2 of the best in the country. Jim Miller at tailback. Pressure up the middle. Milroe keeps it, and he gets wrestled to the ground after a couple. DeRicky Wright in on the stop for Vandy. What a start he has had. Now 2nd and goal.
Boy, Tom, DeRicky Wright was the opposite field safety on this play. But because of the pressure that comes up the middle, he's got to fill over the top. So he comes all the way across the line of scrimmage and attacks one of the better runners in this conference, is able to get him to the ground. That's an excellent play by the veteran safety.
Bama hustles to the line. 2nd and goal. A hole on the left side, and a step through for Jan Miller, and Alabama's on the board on an 8-yard touchdown run. Seven plays, 75-yard drive for Alabama. Graham Nicholson on for the point after. Remember, Vandy missed its first point after the season on that pick six. And the Commodores want to keep this thing close, thinking that might be a factor late. Nicholson bangs it through. Bama on the board after a 75-yard drive.
But if you've wondered why Jam Miller is described as the guy nobody wants to try and practice because he wants to break your neck, I think you got a pretty good vision of it right there on that touchdown run. Nice job by the left side of the offensive line. Alabama on the board.
Vanderbilt has a missed extra point. That's the only thing that's gone wrong for him so far in this start. Bama fans have showed up to pile into this stadium that, due to construction, seats only 28,934, and yeah, most of them are in crimson, as you might expect. Connor Talty out of St. Rita in Chicago. And no return for Vanderbilt. Great visit with Diego Pavia yesterday. You can feel the confidence that comes off this young man, and he's got a volcanic personality too. So far that has worked for Vanderbilt over the course of this season. Finally leading them to some points. Last three meetings against Alabama, 3 points total, already 13 on the board, including a pick six.
I think he's brought an edge, Tom, to this team, and maybe a little bit of belief that you can go out there and get things done if you can kind of just want to will your way to them every now and then.
First down, Pavia hands it off. And Alyssa, he's got some support in the stands and seemingly every day here in Music City.
And in our production meeting as well, as his brothers came into our TV meeting on Friday afternoon, Diego described them on the phone to me this week as absolutely nuts. He said one of them's a botanist, one is a firefighter, and he said they got a couple days off each and every week. They got nothing else to do besides watch film and send me tips on how to beat various opponents. He said it helps them keep locked in throughout the week.
I did not have botanists on my bingo card when we met those fellas yesterday, that's for sure. Pavia option look, keeps it, and Malachi Moore is there to blow it up. Cole, we talked a lot about the iPads that are available to teams this year on the sideline, and facing an offense like the Vanderbilt runs for the first time. I would imagine at that first possession, a lot of work was done with Kane Womack and that iPad on the sideline.
I spoke to secondary coach Maurice Lindquist just about that before the game on the field. I said, how big have the iPads been for you? He said, oh, game changer. He said, we're actually able to go see exactly what folks are doing. We can show the players maybe what went wrong and why, how the alignment needs to change, where to leverage it. We all thought the helmet comms were going to be the big difference maker, Tom. Those iPads have been just that.
Alabama needed to make some adjustments after that opening 75-yard drive for Vandy. Fake to Alexander. Pavia will roll out of the pocket. Directing traffic back across his body for a first down to Cole Spence. Pickup of 11.
This is Diego Pavia in a nutshell. Just rolling right, keeping the play alive, eyes downfield. And Cole Spence has been super solid for this Vanderbilt football team. In line as a blocker, he gives you some physicality. He can stretch the field. And obviously on the same page with his quarterback on that last play.
Also start a campfire. The Eagle Scout has just his third catch of the season.
I would hope he can do more than a campfire as an Eagle Scout.
Well, we're going to start low. We don't need a campfire today. It's about 1 billion degrees on that turf estimate. Off the right side, Cedric Alexander. Meeting with this Vanderbilt staff yesterday, including offensive coordinator Tim Beck. They said, we've got to find a way to get the ball in Cedric's hands a little bit more.
He's just dynamic, and he doesn't look like a big bruiser of a back, but one of my favorite things that he does, Tom, is pass protection. I mean, he will stick his face right there into your chin strap and try to unbuckle you. Physicality, not a concern. He's loose, got good breakaway speed, just needs more opportunity.
Was the best freshman rusher in the SEC by yardage last year. Named to the SEC freshman team.
Main coverage on the outside.
And the give to Alexander. Stopped by Jihad Campbell. And this is going to lead 3rd and long. It'll be 3rd and 7, give or take.
And I was interested how that matchup would go, Tom, because you were there yesterday. Diego Pavia told us, we're going to get man coverage on the outside. We're going to take our shots. And Kane Womack told me before the game, we have to play a lot of man. It's just what we need to do to defend the alleys. Plays like we just saw there correctly with our alley defenders. Safeties at Husky position, they want to come down and take those plays away, so you'll get those shots on the outside.
Commodores have started this game 3 for 3 on third down. Option. Here's Alexander. He's got room, but he's taken down on a beautiful open field tackle by Deontay Lawson on that stop for Bama.
You watch this play, Tom, and you wouldn't think that last year Deontay Lawson played at about 15, 17 pounds lighter than he's playing this year. Yes, he's heavier this year. The speed to be able to get to the perimeter and get the ball carrier down. I thought it was the number change. I was like, man, he's sleeker, he's lighter. Because 0 looks a little bit leaner.
Really?
He's actually 15 pounds heavier.
I should be wearing 0 more often. Jesse Mirko, the Aussie, punts it away. Fair catch taken at about the 10. Let's find out what's going on in the league. To the studio, Dari Noka.
Righty, Tom. Thank you much. How about a little expert moves presented by Principal and Jackson Dart to Trey Harris. Trey Harris full of expert moves down that sideline, breaking a tackle, working his way inside the 5. And Ole Miss right now leading South Carolina 17-3, jumping on him early at Williams-Brice.
Thanks. There was a flag on that play. Lee Hedrick.
Illegal numbering on the receiving team. There were 2 number 2s in the game. That 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
That is a massive mistake. 2 of these teams are heavily penalized, and this one is Vanderbilt to continue its second offensive possession. 2 number 2s in there. Xavier Brown and Ryan Williams. Where's the other number 2? A couple of freshmen out there.
The 2 stars from last week's game against Georgia. Don't know why the substitution possibly came on punt return there, but either way, going to give Vanderbilt another opportunity.
Vandy rotating in some fresh bodies, including Monty Jones at tailback. And they want to throw it back. Little run to the perimeter now, and a lob downfield is taken down but out of bounds. That was Nate Johnson, the second string quarterback.
And I tell you, Tom, Malachi Moore was right on top of it right away. Just before the ball was snapped, he was pointing at Jones. 2-3 other defenders then joined him in. They saw exactly what was on the field. Great awareness from one of the Alabama veterans, seeing that right out of the gate. He was just outside of your screen to the left there, and I think that put Malachi Moore back in coverage with the understanding of, even if this is a reverse, we might get something wonky on the back end, and if that ball stays in bounds, he might have an interception.
Monty Jones in for his second play at tailback. His first carry will bring it into the first quarter, and what a quarter it is for Vanderbilt. Last time Vandy led at the end of the first quarter against a #1 team was 1977 against Oklahoma. They'd go on to lose that one, as they have every game against #1. Alert Broadway, the Pavies are coming. Moments ago, Clark Lee with Alyssa Lang.
Coach, an extra opportunity for your offense here. What do you need to see from them to score some more points against this defense?
Well, it's 3rd and 8, so we're going to need a conversion or at least get close enough for a 4th down go. I mean, I'm proud of the way the guys are competing. Obviously, you know, this is an explosive offense, and we had our opportunities there in the second drive. We just got to keep playing our game, you know, and we'd love to see this one punctuated here, but we're ready to go back and forth no matter what.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
So looking at a 3rd and 8 coming out of the end of quarter break, and 4 down territory, as you heard him mention. They don't need all 8. Pavia takes it himself and got hog-tied as he picked up the first down, and they're going to add some penalty yards to that as Jihad Campbell got him on the face mask. You don't have to worry about going for it on 4th down if you convert 3rd down.
That's on the defense, number 11. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, and it carries an automatic first down.
Excellent read by Diego Pavia's A.J. Newberry. Running back came across in motion. Jihad Campbell, not much of a choice there, trying to get Pavia to the ground.
Vandy scored on its opening possession, then got a pick six. And they have dominated time of possession after winning the toss and taking the opening kickoff. Cedric Alexander at tailback. Alexander, nowhere to go, spun around and gets spun down for a loss. Pavia is no stranger to upsets. As a starting quarterback, he's got 2 wins as a 21-point-plus underdog. At Auburn last year and at Liberty in 22, both times with New Mexico State. It's tied for the most by any starting quarterback over the last 20 seasons.
And it really is the perfect mix, Tom. It's an offense that is designed to take what the defense gives you, create space, and he runs it extremely well, yet he adds that playmaker component on top of that to be able to give you explosives.
Originated as a split back veer at Pittsburgh State in the MIAA under Tim Beck. Pavia gets taken down again, lucky to stay on his feet to get a yard. James Smith. The pocket just collapsed on Pavia.
That pump fake, Tom, reminded us yesterday of linebacker Brian Longwell telling us the moment he knew Pavia was the real deal, that gave a pump fake to a defensive end in practice, and as he jumped up off the air, the entire sideline heard him say, "Dummy," and then runs past him because he got him to bite on the fake.
Trash talking your own team in practice on a pump fake. 12th play of the drive for Vanderbilt. Pavia got hit, and it's batted at the line of scrimmage, but the hit will draw a flag. Hugh Robinson rocked Pavia just as he was releasing it. Lee Hendrick is our white hat.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, forcible contact above the shoulders on the defense, number 34. A penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot and carries an
It wasn't that he hit him, it was where he hit him.
And you see it, it's not overly violent. A little bit of a head bob into the helmet. I wonder if the official saw the hand kind of swipe down also and felt like that was a little more than it actually was.
It is the 3rd penalty that Vanderbilt has picked up via a penalty this drive. And remember, Vandy punted it away on this drive, but illegal double numbers gave him a first down.
Well, and Alabama came in 96 in the country in penalty yards, Tom, but only 8 of their penalties on the year out of 26 had been on the defense. Defense had actually been pretty good.
A lot of procedural penalties on the offense this year. 1st and 10 for Vanderbilt. Straight ahead run and a gash by Alexander. What's going wrong with Alabama's run defense so far?
Well, they're going to put you in a bind, and they're going to make things difficult. Jamarian Latham on this last play, right here on the end, is going to have to play the option man. So you're the conflict defender. So now you're staying at home, Well, here comes the fullback from across the line of scrimmage. Well, you tell me the last time an Alabama defender had a fullback in an up back position come flat across the line of scrimmage and essentially throw a wham block at him. You don't see this a whole lot, and so it's difficult to defend. They also haven't seen anything like this year.
Don't see a whole lot of inverted wishbone, but that's what we got here. Gillespie, Jones, and Alexander surrounding Pavia. Pavia keeps it himself and through traffic to set up 3rd and short. This will be 3rd and a less than 1, it looks like.
Back to the previous play, Tom. Sometimes you get got. It happens. It happens to all of us, and that can be by design or that can be by maybe somebody just being better than you. Kane Womack said they're going to play the mesh differently. They'll crash it sometimes. They'll play flat. They'll play down on it and try to squeeze it. That time, you just had the perfect play call against how Latham was playing that snap.
Clark Lee loved this offense because he said it's creative but not gimmicky. A way for Vanderbilt to even the playing field against more talented opponents. 14th play of the drive. Pavia keeps it. Can't find the edge just yet and stretches to pick up the first down. We'll see where they mark it. And that'll be a first down spot. They'll have 1st and goal just outside the 1.
Great effort from Diego Pavia, and right there you see 22. LT Overton Really nice job forcing Pavia almost all the way to the sideline, allowed to get north and south just late enough to pick up first down yardage.
It almost looked like that old Indiana play when Kalen DeBoer was the OC and Michael Penix stretched out to hit the pylon.
Absolutely.
So first and goal, I formation with Gabe Fisher, the fullback. They're going straight throwback here. Jumbo formation. And Alexander stopped for no gain. Monty Jackson with the stop.
Yeah, Jackson flying through the middle of that offensive line. I fully expected a boot there from Pavia. You wind up in that kind of formation. You compress everything. Your brain, my brain, everybody's brain immediately goes to, all right, power football here. Let Pavia boot that thing out and try to go to that pylon again.
Dangerous game to assume what my brain is doing any day of the week, Cole, but I appreciate you playing. Second and goal here. What would you run if you're Pavia?
I want to get Pavia with some sort of an option to the wide side of the field. That could be bringing some sort of a waggle, drag route with him. Could be just a flatline speed option. Kalen DeBoer wants a timeout now.
Yeah, they were running a guy off late. Vanderbilt sending shockwaves throughout college football here in the first half. 13-7 Doors. Vandy leading 13-7 and on the goal line. Alyssa, what's happened on the Bama sideline?
Yeah, a bit of discombobulation leading to Kalen DeBoer calling that timeout. Guys, we've seen penalties extend this Vanderbilt drive, now knocking on the doorstep of another touchdown. It's something that Clark Lee told us yesterday they tried to take advantage of. One of the most penalized offenses in the country, he called Alabama. Guys, by the way, when Alabama's offense takes the field again, I've been told that tight end Josh Cuevas will be good to come back into this game. Simply had the wind knocked out of him.
It knocked all of the wind out of him. This will be 17th play of this drive for Vandy. And to Alyssa's point and Kalen DeBoer's consternation, 3 first downs by penalty in this drive for Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia trying to orchestrate the upset of the year. He's got Cedric Alexander behind him.
Now keep in mind, Newberry to his left at that sort of fullback position, not your traditional blocker.
Straight ahead, Alexander stretched to the goal line, and they say he is down inside the 1. Here's another look. Well, that's close. Hindquarters came down right when that ball was approaching the plane of the goal line. All it has to do is break the plane.
Nice job by Jamarian Latham grabbing a hold, trying to keep him out of the end zone on that play.
So Pavia rarely goes under center, but that's what they'll do here. They threw it out of this formation against Missouri 2 weeks ago. They'll run it, and another stretch, and this one's good enough. Cedric Alexander with the touchdown plunge from a yard out. And Vandy strikes again. Second of the day for Alexander.
Power play off the right side. You see Steven Lasoya pulling around the normal center move to left guard. Gets a little bit of a kick out. And Alexander, great job keeping those knees off the turf before the ball crosses the plane.
That was the exclamation point on a 17-play, 75-yard drive that chewed up 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Brock Taylor missed his point after last time. His first extra point miss of the year. That one's good. This is a key play that extended the drive. 2 freshmen wearing number 2 were on the field at the same time when Vandy punted away on its 4th down. And then the face mask gave another penalty first down, and a roughing the passer on a shot to above the head and neck area contributed another automatic first down. For that touchdown plunge. By the way, Alabama had allowed a total of 16 first half points prior to today. I don't want to simplify things, but is it fair to say that Vandy's out physically Alabama, if I can make up a word?
I think Vandy physically has showed up to the game. Overpowering Alabama, no, I don't know if I would necessarily go there. Here's the thing, Tom, it can look like a team is more physical than you or outpowering you or pushing you around when you're indecisive. And a lot of times this offense will steal your eyes. It'll put you in concrete cleats, so to speak. And when you're thinking about that, when you're not moving the way that you're supposed to, not playing fast, it can look like somebody's pushing you around.
Well, in a series of dates in 1903, we could have the thriller of all thrillers between Bama and Vandy. Here's Henderson. Lost the football. Vandy tried to corral it. And it's like grabbing a grease pig. Vandy's got the football at the 15. And the Commodores, outnumbered in their own stadium, have the momentum on the west end. Brian Longwell hauled it in. Another mistake by number 1.
Emmanuel Henderson was a kickoff specialist in high school, and I think they might have his elbow down before this ball comes loose. There you see possession, elbow on the ground. He had over 1,000 kick return yards in high school as a freshman, 6 kick return touchdowns.
Was that bar loose before? Was it oscillating at all before the elbow hit?
Looks like possession there, and then there's the elbow down. My eyes say he had possession of that football when his elbow hit the turf.
Kevin Holmes is our replay official today. What a break this would be for Alabama to retain possession.
What a break for Alabama to retain possession. Break for Vanderbilt if they were to somehow not have this overturned. Ruled a fumble on the field, and obviously a Vanderbilt recovery. Feels like a lot of the momentum with this Vanderbilt football team right now. And you mentioned outnumbered in their own stadium, Tom. You and I have done games here where Vanderbilt quarterbacks have gone silent count.
After video review, video evidence shows that the runner's elbow was down with possession of the ball. The receiving team will remain possession. It will be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Speaking of the crowd split, it's hard for us to see because we only see one side of the stadium, but I don't think it's a stretch to say 75% Crimson.
Yeah, probably would have gone a little higher than that. Yes, Vanderbilt student section showed up. There are a lot of Alabama fans here.
Hey, if Cal can show up for game day, then Vandy students can show up for a football game, right? What a scene in Berkeley this morning. Jalen Milroe, 2 for 4 on Alabama's lone drive, or 1 of 2 drives, I should say. They scored on one. He threw a pick 6 and a 3rd down on the other.
I know you hate time of possession, Tom, but I would love to know the actual time elapsed from when he took a snap in this football game.
Measure with the sundial. Cuevas and Dupree, the tight ends on the right side. Empty backfield for Jalen Milroe. Looking for a pump and go. Got him wide open. Perfectly layered nearly for Jeremy Bernard. We were watching film with Kalen DeBoer in his office Thursday afternoon in Tuscaloosa, and he raved about Jalen Milroe's timing. Something was off by just a hair on that.
I think he just pushed this ball down the field a little bit too far, put a little bit more air, a little bit more touch on that ball. That way Bernard can make an adjustment to it if he needs to, and you still come up with a reception.
Missed opportunity for Bama. Pressure coming, 5-man rush. Milroe shakes the first. Trying to direct traffic. Another near slip, and it gets taken down for Vanderbilt's sack. Both quarterbacks have had footing issues on this turf. Nick Rinaldi comes up with the sack.
Miscommunication at the line of scrimmage. You're going to get a free runner off the right side. Milroe sees him late. I don't know if Ryan Williams in the picture or not. Don't see him, but he was wide open down the Alabama sideline. Jalen Milroe just not enough time to get that football off. The Vanderbilt pressure gets home.
They're down 14. 5-man rush again. Milroe uncorks it for a first down to Ryan Williams. Coming off of an Alabama freshman record, 177 last week against Georgia. That equates to 29 yards per catch.
Well, he is special in a lot of different ways for this Alabama offense. Good protection for Jalen Milroe. Nice pocket. And you almost.
Oh, he was bobbling that. And they're going to stop play and take a look. Yeah, football move. I don't know. It just kind of squirted out of his hand.
It's close. Feel like he got the ball onto his hip there, and then the ball pops out.
Vandy with a 20-7 lead as they sort out whether or not this was a catch. We're going to pay some bills. Back to the West End in a moment. Was overturned to incompletion. The replay booth said he never had firm control. You have to have firm control with a foot on the ground, and the booth said that did not happen. And so instead of a third down conversion, Bama will be forced to punt it away as they're left with a 4th and 13. Jalen Milroe 2 for 6 through the air to start this game. James Burnip on the punt. Martel Height back for Vandy. Good looking kick, and Height takes a fair catch at the 42-yard line. 47-yard punt. Vanderbilt with possession with a 13-point lead. Remember, a missed extra point for the Commodores. And Cole, the way they've been able to run the clock. Now, granted, they've been gifted first downs by this Bama defense. But 8-12 in field position and ability to run the clock so far for Vandy, things are looking really good for them.
Alabama has to find a way to negate some of this momentum. It all feels like it's with this Vanderbilt football team. And when Alabama has attempted to steal some back, it feels like there's been a break that would go against the Crimson Tide, and they haven't been able to maintain it. But you're right, Tom. You got a short field, good field position, clock on your side. You have the lead, and you can. Great chance to get this thing close to the half.
Time of possession 16 minutes to Vandy, short of 6 minutes for Bama. Pavia keeps it. He's outnumbered, and he gets surrounded and smothered. Deontay Lawson in on the stop, coming off of a 10-tackle performance Saturday night against Georgia. He's on every notable award list: the Butkus, Lott, Nagurski, Lombardi.
Well, he's the leader of this defense, the communicator on this defense. He's got that green dot on the back of his helmet. Kane Womack will call plays into him, but it goes so much further than that. Holds the other players accountable. And his ability to just see things, read things, react to things in a quick manner has just gotten better and better and better during his time in Tuscaloosa.
Talking with Kane Womack about him before the game, he said it's that anticipation comes with recognizing personnel and formations. Pavia gets hit in the backfield but escapes. Good blocking on the edge. And Diego Pavia takes another shot as he carries it across the sideline for a first down. 11-yard scramble for Pavia, and not short on confidence or barking.
Well, the value from Cole Spence, you'll see it out wide. Once again, conflict defenders are going to force you to make a decision. Inside zone to the right, but he'll read it backside and pull it. There's Cole Spence with an excellent block on Malachi Moore. And Pavia can get a little bit more on his own.
The only thing that went wrong for Pavia was losing his footing on the Bama sideline.
Whoop. The way they maneuver that last play, Tom, that's why you heard me asking Tim Beck about it yesterday. It's almost backwards, the way that they run it compared to a lot of other teams.
They'll play action look. Come back. And that's complete for a gain of 9 on first down to junior Sherrill, sophomore from Lipscomb Academy right here in Nashville. 16th straight game with a catch for Sherrill.
It's been solid for this Vanderbilt offense. This receiving core has really come on. They have helped Diego Pavia in times where he's rolling out, looking for a play down the field. Now, Pavia understood right there. Roll out, quick ball distribution. Don't allow the defense much time to react.
2nd and 1. Do you take a shot?
They've got to take one here soon. We've been wondering with man coverage. Look at the top of the field. It's one-on-one.
They keep it on the ground, and there's a huge hole for A.J. Newberry. And the sophomore out of Grand Prairie, Texas, picks up a Vanderbilt first down. And the bleeding of the clock continues for the Commodores.
That's 68 here. Stephen Lasoya at left guard. Not just impressive on the block. Catch him in a slant, but then also a nice job by Xavier Castillo of folding back and walling off the other slanting defender that should have been playing flat down the line of scrimmage. There you see Castillo in your screen, walling it off. But Lasoya moved from center to guard. Not always an easy transition, and having an excellent day this afternoon.
And Xavier Castillo takes over the ball. That's 361 pounds at center. Newberry picks up maybe one. Quay Rousseau in for the stop.
Quay Rousseau is a young man that really pops on the film. His ability just flashes. Saw him fumble forced against Georgia a week ago. Saw him in game one. I thought to myself, okay, Ford's going to be that edge guy that Bama needs. There's 4 or 5 of them that we thought were going to battle it out in camp. He looks like the one that could step out. A little bit dinged up. But boy, Tom, I think he could be a real impact player for this Alabama defense this fall.
This run-heavy offense has had success on the ground, and just looking ahead a couple of plays, their kicker, Brock Taylor, did miss an extra point, but he's got a strong leg. Hit a couple big ones against Missouri. Pavia throws it down the sideline, and the catch made with a foot out of bounds, incomplete to junior Sherrill, who was absolutely blanketed. First incompletion for Pavia today. He is 5 for 6.
If I told you Jihad Campbell ran 21.6 miles an hour, you wouldn't believe me until you saw a play like that. One of the fastest players on this football team at linebacker, who, by the way, is about 10 pounds heavier than he was a season ago, probably mainly due to mom's spaghetti.
Cameron Johnson is entered, number 84. You split him out 4 wide with Alexander in the backfield. That was awkward, and movement on the right side of the line.
Fitz, number 68. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains third down.
They get Lasoya for it. That is the first flag against Vanderbilt so far this afternoon.
Well, Tom, I have been standing where Alyssa Lang is, and Vanderbilt having the ball in a very similar place. Now, there were fans in the end zone where there's now construction, and Vanderbilt quarterback having to go silent count. These Alabama fans will make this difficult for Diego Pavia right here.
Third down 14, and loud on the home turf. Pressure coming up the middle. Pavia goes down the sideline. Man coverage. It is incomplete. Skinner, the intended receiver, Jackson, was all over him.
Excellent play by Damani Jackson in phase. Locates the football. That's critical. Whether or not he's able to get the football loose or not. That's how you're going to avoid a penalty. And then rakes the ball free. Not sure it would have been a completion either way, but nice play by number 1 for Alabama.
51-yard attempt as Brock Taylor lines up. He had a program record 57-yarder to end the first half in Columbia, Missouri 2 weeks ago. Andy fell in double overtime to then 7th-ranked Mizzou. Taylor's got the distance, and he splits the uprights. Vanderbilt leads Alabama 23-7. Clark Lee trying to make some history here in Nashville. Never before have they beaten number 1. This is Alabama's largest deficit against an unranked team since October 2nd of 2004, when they lost 20-3 on the road at South Carolina. And it's the largest lead Vanderbilt has ever had against the number 1 team in the country. Taylor able to bang through that 51-yarder to conclude an 8-play, 26-yard drive. This Vanderbilt momentum has been real since their opening possession. Opportunity for a return from the one, Emmanuel Henderson. He gets rocked. Alyssa Lang, this is a physical game both before and after the whistle.
It's been chippy physically. Guys have been jawing with each other. Cole, you were talking a few minutes ago about the fans. The student section has been giving Alabama everything so far this game. You see this jawing. I just watched Malachi Moore and Quincy Skinner go after it at the end of that last Vanderbilt drive. Malachi walked across the entirety of the field. I'm assuming they weren't exchanging pleasantries with each other, rather the trash talk that I've heard from down here. It's really emotional out there right now, guys.
There's a different feeling around this Vanderbilt program, and it emanates from their head coach, Clark Lee, who said, I had to rethink everything I was doing trying to build this program. We need our best 11 players on the field no matter what. Handoff to Justice Haynes, who squirts free. That's enough for a first down, but this Alabama offense has been stymied by both this Vanderbilt defense and its own mistakes. A pick on its first possession that allowed Vandy to take a 2-score lead, then the touchdown, and it went backwards on their last possession.
That previous play, Tom, is where I think Alabama can live in this game. Let Tyler Booker, Parker Brailsford, Caden Proctor eat. Get that push at the line of scrimmage, start the run game.
Milroe looking for Bernard. He's covered, so he checks it down to the running back. And Haynes again making people miss. Really interesting conversation that we had in the office of Alabama's Kalen DeBoer on Thursday afternoon after practice. A lot of times Milroe's first read starts with the running back, and that dictates where he's going to go after.
It does. If they want to attack you underneath, his first read will be the running back many times.
On 2nd and 2, Milroe kept it, and he goes down for a loss.
Had a couple of misreads in the Georgia game, Tom, out of the mesh. And this one, you have a defender right in your face about 2 yards upfield. I just don't know why you're going to want to try to pull that one. Give it to your running back, let him try to work. But the Cosmo right there in his face, they're not going to have anywhere to go either way.
A vocal minority on this 3rd and 5. Bama just 1 of 3 on 3rd downs. A lot of traffic in the pocket, and he's delivered on time. Oh my, what a hit. And a flag down and maybe targeting company. And Kobe Prentice very slowly makes his way up. And he's got a wobbly walk-off to get back to the Alabama sideline. That was dangerous.
And thankfully, that man right there, Jeff Allen, going to be able to take care of him. Absolutely one of the best in the business.
Targeting on the defense, number 19. That plays under video review.
Of note, Alabama is already without one starting wide receiver. That's Kendrick Law. On this play specifically, DeRicky Wright was flagged. They're going to immediately walk Prentice off back towards the visiting locker room. But Wright wasn't in on it. Martel Height was the first man there. Randon Fontenette was the second. So adding the confusion here is they said 19, which was not who it was on. So we've got to try and figure out first which Vandy defender got flagged for targeting.
Review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 19 may remain in the game. The result of the play is a first down.
What did you think on either one of those hits?
I thought Fontenette did make contact with the top of his helmet, but that area has been compressed. It was hard to see from the replay exactly what part of his helmet made contact.
Yeah, it's been minimized. It used to be from the top of the face mask all the way around.
It's a smaller area, and his helmet did make contact with Kobe Prentice's helmet, but that's an example, Tom, of why I think you need to bring back a completely different foul. When players come in with their heads down like that, just go back and call it a spear and make it something totally different.
It is a first down after the catch by Prentice, who's now back in the locker room, and a swing out to Justice Haynes, shoved out of bounds. Clock will stop with 2:09 remaining in the first half. We'll have another timeout. Pardon me, it runs at the spot. And now that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. Alabama trailing Vanderbilt 23-7. Bama's only lost is #1 to an unranked team 3 times ever. To A&M in 21, John Bond of Mississippi State in 80, and 1962 at Georgia Tech.
Insurance halftime reporters around the corner. We will show you how A&M just absolutely manhandled Missouri. Sorry, Tom Hart. Also, Ole Miss taking care of business. But there's nothing we can show you that's close to what we're watching now from a surprise.
What you're seeing is people flipping their channels to the SEC network by the dozens.
Indeed. Welcome. Dozens? I hope it's more than that.
They try to run it off left tackle. Thank you, gentlemen. Justice Haynes on 2nd and 1 picks up the first down. All right, so for those people who have just flipped over, Cole, what's your summation of what has gone wrong for Alabama so far?
Penalties, shooting themselves in the foot a lot. Defense, a little bit confused, not confident in attacking different portions of this Vanderbilt offense, and that's what makes them difficult to defend. They'll put you in conflict, and they will force you out of your space at different points in time.
Bama trailed at the half 5 times last season.
The result of the play was a first down, which stopped the clock.
They went 3-2 in those 5 games.
Also, Tom, where are Alabama's best players on offense? They haven't been on the field. 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Alabama's possessed the ball here in the first half.
20 minutes plus for Vandy's offense. Bama's got a pair of timeouts remaining. Milroe out of the backfield and stepping out of bounds is Justice Haynes for a gain of 3. Pardon me, Jan Miller, excuse me. So 2nd down, clock stop, 1:38. What would it sounds weird to talk about Alabama needing momentum on the road at Vanderbilt, but what would a score here before the half mean to them?
I think it would be massive because, as I stated earlier, Alabama has been in position to grab some of this momentum back, and momentum's real. And every time they get a little bit of positivity, it feels like something else goes against them. A penalty, drop the football.
Milroe hands it off. There's a huge hole. Jam Miller down the sideline and forced out of bounds inside the 5. They mark him out at 3.5. It's a 33-yard run.
Timeout.
Vandy's going to use the timeout.
This is their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, Tom, we talked to Kalen DeBoer on the field before the game, and he said, keep your eyes out for Gino Vandermark coming in the game. He's actually a right tackle right there, excuse me. An excellent kick-out block along with C.J. Dupree to be able to get that power play off the left side. There you see it right there.
He said, listen, Vandermark's going to see the field today. We're going to get him in early on, and it's nothing that anybody has done wrong. He's just had a great run in practice recently. Michigan State transfer from Lodi, New Jersey. 1st and goal, Bama. It's outside the 3. Jam Miller next to Milroe. And Miller's got plenty of space, and he's got a touchdown run, his 2nd of the game. Jalen Milroe knew that was a touchdown as soon as he let go of the football. They're going to go for 2.
Tom, watch bottom right of your screen. I think you'll see the receiver block right there. Number 18, it's Caleb Odom. We wondered who was going to take the place of Kendrick Law, who is an absolutely devastating blocker at the wide receiver position. Excellent job by Odom getting some reps, able to wall it off.
Time to go for Dose, brought to you by Dos Equis.
This is their 2nd charge.
And Alabama will use a timeout. They converted a 2-point conversion against Georgia last week. Down 10 to make it an 8-point deficit against Clark Lee and Vanderbilt. Nobody loves blocks more than Cole Kubelik.
Well, and Jamarcus Shepard told me, I want Caleb Odom to get some reps in this game, especially with Kendrick Law out. That's all it takes right there. I'm not going to put that on the same level with what Kendrick Law's been doing this year, driving guys 30, 40 yards down the field, but you did your job. You're able to wall off that pursuit for your running back to be able to get to the end zone. Excellent job.
Diego Pavia staying loose. He's 5 for 7 in this first half. What do you like here for Bama going for 2? Oh, pardon me, they bring the kicker out, so never mind. Graham Nicholson will kick it away. Graham Nicholson. And we've got a 9-point Vanderbilt lead. Really interesting conversation with Clark Lee in his office yesterday. He said, listen, I'm tired of losing. I've got to do this a little bit differently, and I've got to build it differently. There's no time to be a developmental program. There's no time to really get your guys in terms of culture and just no, we need the best 11 guys on the field without sacrificing culture so we can hang with a team like Alabama, and certainly this dynamic offense helps them do that.
Well, and he said we need better players too. They went out and got some. Diego Pavia being one of those that we've seen today. And Tom, Clark Lee played in a similar era to when I did. A lot of the things that are happening in today's college football, we didn't have those. We didn't really like them when they first started to happen. Yeah. I think that was also Clark Lee saying, this is me embracing the new of college football because, let's be real, that's what it takes to win.
They've developed players over the years that then have packed up and gone somewhere else to play for winning programs. And now an opportunity to keep guys like DeRicky Wright, bring in Diego Pavia.
That was the interesting part of it is every time we've met with Clark Lee, the emphasis on building the human being, the person, trying to grow the team together as one, the amount of time you put into that, and then after a year or two, somebody leaves and goes and plays somewhere else, you wasted that time.
And the players we talked to said, man, it's totally different. We used to have meetings every morning talking about philosophy. Now we meet with our position coaches and we talk ball. Let's talk about this week's secret recipe, brought to you by Bush's Grill and Beans, and it's the Vandy run game in this pistol option offense.
Well, there you see inside zone read with the splitter, and then Diego Pavia obviously can show you a little bit of bootleg position to keep the football, but he's going to give it. Hell, how about a flat line option? A little old school football from Vanderbilt. There's that play that looks like midline again, but it's just inside zone, reading the backside defender with the chance for Diego Pavia to keep it and then go flat and pitch it. He can also throw a pop pass off that. His creativity really is the straw that stirs the drink of this offense.
Vandy has run 12 more plays than Alabama here in the first half. And they got a score on a pick 6. Made up the middle and a gain of a hair over 2. Timeout taken by Alabama to stop the clock with 1:19. Alabama has outgained Vanderbilt total offense so far in this game, but penalties have certainly hurt the Tide, and that pick 6 looming large. Oh, we got all sorts of throws going on by LT Overton. Alabama, I feel like if they're going to come back and win this game, Cole, it's because they're going to be as physical as they can possibly be and compete.
It's going to take composure also, Tom. You're right. It's where we said at the beginning of the last drive, inside zone goes for 6-8 yards. I think Alabama still can win the line of scrimmage, specifically when they're on offense. And now that they've made this game a little bit more comfortable at 23-14 going into the half, that's going to allow you to lean on that part of your game a little bit more. Clark Lee said he didn't like the punch.
Stating his case with Lee Hendrick coming up at the half. You can watch a live performance of Vandy's Spirit of Gold marching band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Second and 8 for Diego Pavia, last year's Conference USA Player of the Year with New Mexico State. And with the little sweep action, A.J. Newberry picks up a couple and another timeout used. The last quarterback to lead an unranked team to a win against #1 Alabama was Zach Calzada at Texas A&M a few years ago.
I think Calzada's still ripping it at Incarnate Word this year.
Why not?
Just keep playing.
They're not going to kick you out. 3rd and 5. Bama stop the clock, and they're going to try to force a punt here.
And I like the strategy from Alabama. You see Vanderbilt going to try to run this thing to the half. Okay, we have the timeouts. You can't take them home with you.
You know, this Vandy offense, Tim Beck is the offensive coordinator in his first year since coming from New Mexico State. They pound it, they option, they try to fool you with some eye candy, and then they hit you deep. And that's usually where those deep shots come, whether Pavia is in the pocket or not. Keon Sabb is the safety for Bama. He's standing with his heels on the 45 and now backing up further. Vandy has been sensational on 3rd down this afternoon. Empty backfield for Pavia. Now he'll get some company. An option for Newberry. No, they shovel it inside. What a play! Eli Stowers with a 1st down run. And finally forced out of bounds inside the 40. It's a gain of 31 on the shovel pass to Stowers.
What a play design. You get motion to bring flat line option. Defender flies upfield, and that just allows Diego Pavia to push that ball right back underneath. It was LT Overton that attacked the quarterback. And remember, Kane Womack told us, we will play the mesh differently. We have to have a variety with how we defend it. I imagine Tim Beck saw that, noticed it, and he's been waiting to try and slide that shovel pass in.
Doors have one timeout in their pocket, 1:06 to play. They got a kicker with a big leg on a 57-yarder. His last game play. Deep ball, man coverage on the sideline. Incomplete. Zaven Brown, the freshman, that time on Junior Sherrill.
Well, everybody knows about the interception last week to close the game out, but Zaven Brown has been on the path to be ready to go since he was taking recruiting trips to Alabama. He didn't want to do the photo shoots. He didn't want all the memorabilia, the national championship trophy and the belts. He just wanted to come play football. And when he came on his recruiting trips, wanted to talk football. And he's been no nonsense since he arrived on campus. He was targeted 10 times in the Georgia game.
That'd be one time too many. It'll be a 57-yarder from here, and the play whistle dead before they started. Play clock rolled out. That could be big because Taylor hit a 57-yarder in Columbia 2 weeks ago. And Vandy nearly upset then number 7 Mizzou. So that is close to taking them out of field goal range. There's not much of a breeze on the field on this hot Saturday. On 3rd and 15, back to the ground game to try to get something back. They get just one. Oh, pardon me, that was 2nd down. That was 2nd and long remaining.
Try to chip away a little bit on 2nd down. 3rd down, maybe try to inch closer to more comfortable field goal range.
They don't mind the clock rolling here. Vandy trying to end the first half with a score.
You've said it, though, Tom. This offense, there's a wild card in the back pocket always.
Play clock at 4. 5-man rush. Pavia leaves the pocket. A little pump fake bought him some time, and then he gets hit as he goes out of bounds. 13 seconds remaining. Let's see where they spot it. And they're going to bring out Brock Taylor, try to bang this thing through from deep. Vandy has found momentum in a lot of different ways. Nope, they're going to punt it away. Pardon me, Taylor. Now they spot it. Okay, there's your holder. Taylor, 57-yarder against Missouri last week. Ryan Williams stands in the end zone to try and return. This would be a 60-yarder.
Charge timeout of the half.
Do you think twice about attempting this kick with Ryan Williams, the return man?
I think it depends on your confidence in the leg. And we know how this goes. The kickers come out before the game. They kick a bunch of balls and see where the wind is, and they come.
You say that with such disdain for special teamers. They kick a bunch of balls.
It's the detail with it. They come out. I think 62 today. Was it 65 yesterday? How much does it really change? But Clark Lee and his staff have a pretty good idea of his leg strength and be able to get it not only potentially to the uprights, but away from Ryan Williams. I don't want number 2 for Alabama touching the football with an opportunity to run it back.
Brock Taylor is 2 for 3 from 50 yards plus this season. Sophomore from just down the road at Knoxville Catholic. And now they're going to punt it away. Jesse Murko. Aussie punter comes on. Cole Adams is back to receive for Alabama. Adams asks for a fair catch. It goes over his head. He lets it go. And that will impact the clock. And only 3 seconds left in the half. This is a score that's going to send shockwaves through college football, as Vanderbilt will take a lead into the locker room against number 1 Alabama. Jalen Milroe in the first half has only been on the field for 8.5 minutes. He is 6 of 10 without a touchdown and 1 pick. The Heisman favorite coming into this game according to the odds makers. That has changed, and they will take a knee. Vanderbilt has the lead at halftime against the number 1 ranked team in the country. That hasn't happened since the Carter administration. They led Oklahoma 15-11 in 1977. The Commodores have never taken down the number 1 ranked team in the AP poll. Gets down the field. Alyssa Lang is standing by with Bama's Kalen DeBoer.
Coach, offensively, how do you build off the momentum of that last touchdown you scored?
Yeah, it was a good drive. We've had a couple of nice ones. Obviously, the turnover was really critical, and they're going to shorten the game, and it's going to be limited possessions. But we get the ball to start the third quarter, so we can close up here a little bit.
Defensively, what adjustments do you have to make against this offense?
Yeah, we got to take away the inside run first, so the rest of the stuff on the option game doesn't open up.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
He is an even keel coach 99% of the time, but I'd pay to be in that locker room. 23-14 lead for Vandy against number 1 Bama. Let's get you to the studio. Plenty to talk about. It's the Auto Owners Insurance Halftime Report with Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. Jim. Sonic to the field where Clark Lee is with Alyssa Lang.
Coach, you have the lead on the number 1 team in the country. What did you say to your team at halftime to keep the foot on the gas?
That it's not going to take anything extra. We got to come out here and close the game out just by playing our identity, stop by stop, possession by possession. They're ready to close the game. We got to go make it happen now. Independent of the opponent, we got to play Vanderbilt football.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
And so far today, Vanderbilt football has been winning football. Welcome back to Nashville. Tom Hart alongside Cole Kublik. And a big reason for that, Cole, is they've kept Jalen Milroe and his Alabama offense off the field.
We talked earlier in the broadcast, the best players on this Alabama football team are on offense. Ryan Williams, Jalen Milroe. You don't allow them to go take momentum back. Vanderbilt has held momentum throughout the course of this game. And I love what Clark Lee said there, Tom. Don't have to be a superhero. Play our style of football. We can close this game out if we do what we do. Just go execute.
Certainly feels like things have changed, and they continue to change. Vanderbilt's never beaten the number 1 team in the country, and the Heisman favorite coming into this afternoon, Jalen Milroe, has been stymied due to lack of time on the field. Vandy's run nearly twice as many offensive plays Drives for Bama have been 3 plays, 7 plays, 3 plays, 9 plays before the kneel down at the end of the first half. Vanderbilt took the ball to start the game, and then they got a pick 6 on Alabama's first possession. So right off the bat with a missed extra point, it was 13-0.
Well, Coach DeBoer said it going into the halftime. We get the ball first in the third quarter. You want to put a drive together that can build some of that confidence, build a little bit of momentum back with your football team. I'd lean on that offensive line, that group of tight ends, get downhill in the run game to try to open some other things up for this team down the field a little bit later here in the second half as you try to mount this comeback.
Not only has Vandy never beaten a #1 team, they've never beaten a team in the top 5. They've lost 60 straight. Here's Emmanuel Henderson. He finds a gap. Henderson finds a sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds just prior to midfield. In fact, they'll spot it at the opposite 49, a 48-yard return, and Jalen Milroe has a little wiggle room now. Bama has lost as #1 to an unranked team only 3 times in its history. In College Station against A&M, in Jackson against Mississippi State, and on the road in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. I can't imagine at any of those games they had the crowd support like they do here, wearing their road whites in Nashville with a pro-Bama crowd on hand. Cole Adams in motion. Justice Haynes is the tailback. Milroe to throw on first down. He finds Jeremy Bernard. Bernard makes a first man miss before getting twisted down after a gain of about 8. DeRicky Wright with the stop for Vandy.
Cushion on the outside, so Jalen Milroe just going to take it. Free grass. We'll steal that.
Of note, Alabama came into this game without one of its top receivers, Kendrick Law. And Kobe Prentice left in the second quarter after taking a shot to the head. Here's 2nd and 3. Milroe, a shuffle in the backfield, and that is on time to Robbie Oates. Now listen, what'd you learn about Prentice?
Yeah, you mentioned it, Tom, and obviously he took a pretty big hit back in the first half. I have been told he is out for the remainder of this game.
All right, thank you. That's another man down for Alabama. His catch did result in a first down, as that one did from the senior, Robbie Oates.
Nice job by Jalen Milroe to get that football out, but Anias DeCosmo, good pressure on Milroe, forcing him a little bit further outside of the pocket and having to change the arm angle on that pass.
Cosmo transfer from Stanford. Look at Haynes in the flat, now across the middle. This is Ryan Williams. First catch of the game results in an Alabama first down. Remember, he had one near the sideline in the second quarter that he bobbled, was ruled incomplete.
Well, the body control from Ryan Williams is elite. It's the only way to describe it. Jalen Milroe gets through his progressions and delivers a nice football, and you see Williams just able to start. Oh, goodness, the start and stop. Had a long conversation with David Ballou, the Alabama strength coach, about this young man and his ability to change directions in a hurry. Rate of force development, something we'll talk about a little bit later with Ryan Williams.
He was Mr. Football in the state of Alabama as a sophomore, the first ever to take home that honor as a sophomore. Williams in motion. Milroe looking for Williams. Comes near side. He took a hit. He signaled first down, and indeed he's got it by a yard.
Smooth, not sudden, is the way that I would describe it, Tom. And I stole that from Damian Mitchell on McElroy and Kublik in the morning. We were trying to think of ways to just describe how he moves and what he does. And so I asked David Ballou, the strength coach, about his movement. And he said his rate of force development is 0.15. It's hard to sort of picture this, imagine this, but essentially it means he can get to full force in 0.15 seconds.
Are you promoting your own show? Are you paying advertising rates today? Here's Milroe. Perfect through the air on this drive. And now on the ground, he's in. Touchdown, Jalen Milroe. Tyler Booker and Parker Brailsford cleared the way And Bama scores on its opening possession. Bama didn't need much time. A 5-play, 53-yard drive. Milroe 4 for 4 through the air and then on the ground. Graham Nicholson with the point after. Didn't think I'd say this, but in the second half, Alabama creeping back into this game against unranked Vanderbilt.
Design quarterback runs will be a staple of this offense. A big part of their identity. You see big Tyler Booker out front, Parker Beresford as well. A nice block from Caden Proctor, and Jalen Milroe on cruise control down Broadway.
Well, the Crimson Tide faithful feeling a little bit better as Bama closes within 2 points here. 23-21 Vandy, as Alabama scores on its opening drive of the second half. Perfect 4 for 4 on that drive. Feels like Alabama made some adjustments.
Well, forcing the defense to play a little bit of a different way, spread the formations out just a little bit more, prove that you're going to take things out on the perimeter, and then you saw quarterback power come off tackle. A nice job by Caden Proctor, Tyler Booker, and specifically Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, had a nice adjustment to block Langston Patterson on that touchdown run.
It's the importance of this drive if you're Vanderbilt.
The important part of this drive to me, Tom, is to stay within who you are. Don't press. Don't try to do too much. You still have the lead in this game.
Sherrill, no return. Vanderbilt trying to make some history here this afternoon at First Bank Stadium. That's been around since 1922. They've never seen Commodores knock off #1. It's never seen them beat a top 5 opponent. The 0-60 all-time is the longest streak in college football. 86 meeting between these two. It started in 1903. And Vanderbilt dominated this series back when it started. Things have certainly changed. 23 straight wins for Bama. Pavia keeps it, tries a shake and bake, and he gets grilled. Kill Robinson there. Pavia couldn't lose him.
Quindarius Robinson, one of the more athletic edge defenders Alabama has. Go back to the first half, Tom. Remember the indecisiveness by some of these edge defenders? Q Robinson comes right out of that 2-point stance after seeing Diego Pavia keep the football, attacks north and south, able to get him to the ground. Nub tight end to that side too, so you tried to widen the front out just a little bit. So that's a tight end, in man on the line of scrimmage. Robinson was not fooled.
Second and 14, Pavia to throw. And he goes to his running back, Alexander. Gets him just past the original line of scrimmage, brought down by Jackson.
You kind of said this earlier in the show. That specific play right there, it feels like it's coming. They kind of lull you to sleep on that one, lull you to sleep. Pavia can keep it, get north and south. He can hand it. It feels like a shot play is coming off that sooner or later.
When they've taken shots, Jackson and Brown, the Bama corners, have been there to defend the deep ball. Richie Hoskins checks in at one receiver. Third down, 9 for Vanderbilt. 4-man rush to Stowers. Got the first down. Offensive line just submarine the guys up front with Pavia getting rid of it quick.
Quick protection, so you go low. You can do that at the line of scrimmage. Number one, it's not really to negate a pass rush. You want to get the hands down. And the Vanderbilt offensive line does a nice job of that, so the ball's not going to get batted on a quick throw. Junior Sherrill, 0 for Vanderbilt, also had to have a nice runoff route on that play to be able to open up space for the slant. He did. First down, Commodores.
Pavia, QB power, picks up a few. Alyssa.
Eli Stowers has become one of Diego Pavia's favorite targets, not only here at Vanderbilt, but going back to New Mexico State, guys. They're roommates here in Nashville. Diego hosting Eli on his trip here. He said last weekend they stayed in the apartment. They watched that Bama-Georgia game. They did nothing but game plan things to run against this Alabama defense. They've been excited about this one since then.
Well, they'll have to do it with a different quarterback for a play. Diego Pavia's helmet popped off, so Nate Johnson, who arrived in January to battle for the quarterback job, is in. He's attempted one pass this game for Vandy and a trick play earlier. Hands it off on 2nd and 7, and Alexander taken down. Kill Robinson again.
Well, Tim Vakakis was Q Robinson's head coach in high school. And Tim told me he's one of the most athletic, explosive players that he's ever been around at that level. Now, faced some adversity early in his time in Tuscaloosa, but he's waited it out, kept his head down, worked his rear end off. Now made a couple of big plays for this Alabama defense here early in the second half.
Bama's D has been sliced on 3rd down all afternoon. That goes against their numbers throughout the course of the season in their first 4 games. Pavia leaves the pocket, delivers on time to Stowers, and he stretches for the 1st down. To pay off Alyssa's story about how they become fast friends, they were competing for the quarterback job last year at New Mexico State, but a torn labrum that impacted Stowers at A&M forced his move to the tight end spot. Man, he looks like a pro.
Motion to a little bit of a stack formation, see him get out of his break there, and just has that athleticism to be able to make those kind of plays. And Tom, I had one of their games at New Mexico State late October last year, and he had only been repping tight end for a couple of weeks. He was out there catching footballs, running routes. He looked like a natural.
6'4", 235. Pavia finds some room on the right side. Once again taken down. It's Keon Sabb that time. Vanderbilt has been unable to win in this second half the one-on-one open field opportunities.
Alabama has tackled better, but you see just how he manipulates that mesh, Tom, and able to get that ball out of the pocket. Keon Sabb comes up, makes an excellent one-on-one tackle, and Kane Womack told us our safeties have to play better football, have to be more sound, and that's who's defending the alley in this defensive structure today. Pavia is going to be out in it. You're going to get those one-on-ones, got to get into the ground.
Monty Jones in a tailback. Monty Jones gets bottled up. You've mentioned the alley a couple of times. How would you define that in this offensive formation?
So kind of out by the hash, outside of the offensive tackles before you get to that wide receiver. And they stress the end of the line of scrimmage so much with those read plays. Also, you have a quarterback that has mobility, so you're going to be a little bit more calm in how you rush him. Kane Womack told me before the game, we're going to layer our rush package against him in different ways with different bodies. So because of all that, that has to be defended extremely well. You're not going to have numbers out there, Tom, because of how you put them in conflict.
Vandy 9 of 12 on 3rd down this afternoon. They've already converted a pair of 3rd and longs on this drive. 3rd down 9, downfield. It is incomplete. Sherrill couldn't haul it in. He had Brown trailing him, and that's the opportunity we've discussed with this Vandy offense.
They show the slip screen to that side, and then the shot play from Diego Pavia. Just have to make the catch. It's a tough catch. It's over your back shoulder, but the adjustment may need to come a little bit earlier, and that is a massive break for Alabama.
Jesse Murko on to punt it away. Cole Adams back to receive. Murko spent 3 seasons at Ohio State. And if this checks up, it'll be a beauty. It does, and it is inside the 5. 46-yard punt for the Aussie Jesse Murko, and Jalen Milroe and Alabama have a long field to work with. 6:15 to go in the 3rd. Bama down a deuce. Inconsistent in the first half, but coming out first drive of the second half, a perfect 4 for 4.
Robbie Oots going down to grab that first pass. Ryan Williams finally getting involved on those 2 catches. Don't need to share hands on this one. Use your own hands to get it into the end zone.
So what do you want to see here from #1 Alabama on this drive?
Specifically backed up right here, Tom, I want to see the north-south run game. Alabama has utilized it a couple of times this year. Wisconsin, they got north and south, and they were able to utilize that in a dominant fashion. I think they can lean on this defense and have success with it, just haven't consistently stayed with it today.
Jim Miller, the running back, he's got nowhere to go.
Great job by Demarion Thomas, 98 inside for that Vanderbilt defensive line, eating up a couple of blocks, not allowing Parker Brailsford to climb up to the linebacker and open up some extra space.
I think it's just a different feel for this Alabama team outside of the first half against Georgia. That's 14 drives. They've scored a total of 24 points. Milroe passing from his end zone. Williams had it, couldn't squeeze it, and took a lick from C.J. Taylor. And Ryan Williams right back up on his feet.
Think about the value, Tom, for this Vanderbilt defense. C.J. Taylor, 123 tackles in his career. DeRicky Wright, 122 in his career coming in. Playing on the back end of this defense for Clark Lee. Didn't even need to jar that football loose, so I don't think Ryan Williams is going to hold on to it. Those veterans allow you to do so many different things.
3rd down 9. Milroe facing pressure, lost his foot and gets out of the end zone. Throws on the run. It is caught at midfield. Jeremy Bernard. There's a flag back at the 8-yard line. Jalen Milroe is over the line of scrimmage when he let that thing go. Here's Lee Hedrick.
Illegal forward pass on the offense number 4. The passer was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. The penalty will be enforced after this return goal from the spot of the foul.
So the Houdini act,
loss of down, 4th down.
All for naught. 49-yard gain wiped off because Milroe is over the line.
Well, it's an excellent pass rush right side of your screen. Corday Snyder able to use that inside swim move and then just about a yard over, Tom.
Entire body has to be past the line of scrimmage, and certainly was. And so Bama will be forced to punt it from its own end zone. If you're Vandy, do you come after it or you take the short field?
I'll take that short field. I have confidence my offense has moved the ball at times today. I want more points.
James Burnup had a 64-yard punt in the Wisconsin game up at Camp Randall. Out of Melbourne, Australia. Got rid of it quickly, and Vandy's going to have great field position even after the big hit on special teams. A 40-yarder. Emmanuel Henderson delivered the lick. Vandy has the ball and the lead, and Diego Pavia in a short field against #1. Home for many of us in the eastern part of this state, in eastern Tennessee. Diego Pavia hands it off, and Chase Gillespie, junior out of Tallahassee, Florida, picks up a couple 2nd and 8. And Clark Lee said we've got to keep playing Vanderbilt football. What does that look like offensively?
That right there, you're setting up 3-4 other plays with a 3.5, 4-yard gain on 1st down. So now Diego Pavia can keep that ball. There's a play action. You can work off that. An RPO, you can work off that as things go on. You now see how Alabama's going to play the read plays out of that formation. You take that into the next series, next play.
And Berta Wishbone again. See this a time or two from this option offense for Vanderbilt. A little hesitation for Gillespie before he hits the line of scrimmage, and he picks up 1. Tim Beck is the offensive coordinator here at Vandy. Won a national title at the Division II level with Pittsburgh State in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And during his time there back in 2004, the Gorillas set the all-division record for rushing yards and total offense. He knows how to move the football. 3rd and 6. Last drive, Vandy converted 3rd downs of both 8 and 9 yards to gain. Four-man rush. Pavia reverse pivot and delivers, but Quincy Skinner is going to be brought down short. Another issue that Tim Beck clued us into yesterday was that he often knows if it's a 4-down drive, multiple plays before they're going to keep the offense on the field on 4th and short.
I think that'd be a great example of what you're describing, Tom. He knew, okay, we pick up 2-3 yards here, we're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down. So he's got that next call registered. I love how he said, I don't always tell Diego that, though. I want him to run the one specific play first.
Can you run a QB sneak against this big Alabama line?
Depends on how much space you get.
Not out of the shotgun. They're 2 of 3 on 4th down this year. Pavia wants to throw. He goes down the middle. It is caught. Touchdown. Vanderbilt and Junior Sherrill. That might be the most Diego Pavia play ever. On 4th and 1, he goes deep. His family thrilled with this one. Vandy holds on to his lead and they extend it. There is nothing Diego Pavia believes he can't do. Overlooked coming out of high school, 0 FBS offers to junior college where he was the 3rd string quarterback. Then to New Mexico State. Now in the SEC, which he always dreamed of, watching his idol Johnny Manziel take down an Alabama team. And now this number 2 has his team in the same position.
I think it's designed to be a quick throw time. You see there, it's not there. He keeps it alive. Sees one-on-one coverage, decides to go deep. How about Junior Sherrill 2 series ago on 4th down, the ball off of his fingertips. I didn't think there was any way he was going to be able to get to this football when he redirected and ran flat off the fingertips again for a score.
We've talked ad nauseum about how this offense sets you up for the deep ball. The brothers, listen, if you want to have a good time tonight, find those 2 dudes. I guarantee you they will be available. But the point is that all of that option action brings Malachi Moore and the safeties even closer to the line of scrimmage.
It all lulls you to sleep. It all draws your attention. And with a young man like Diego Pavia that can seemingly keep any play alive and then deliver a moment like that, if you are not playing fundamental sound defense, he's going to find a way to get you.
Twice in his career, he's knocked off a 3-touchdown favorite at Liberty a couple of years ago, and last year on the road at Jordan-Hare. Vandy was a 3+ touchdown dog coming in this afternoon against number 1. So most points scored against the number 1 team in Vanderbilt program history. I didn't think, as far as Jalen Milroe is concerned, sometimes it's hard to have a Heisman moment when you're a 3-touchdown favorite. But he's a special player. And down 9 in the second half, what can he dream up? Tackle immediately made on Cole Adams after the catch.
I think the first thing, Tom, is going to be run your offense. Stay within the structure and scheme of your offense. The big plays, explosive plays will present themselves. Jalen Milroe can't go out and create those on his own.
Handoff. Jeremy Bernard to the 45. Talking with Kalen DeBoer about this imperfect Alabama offense. He said, listen, first half against Georgia, everybody was on the same page. Everyone was making plays. Second half, not so much, but it's not always the quarterback. As the quarterback, you've got to be confident enough to believe the rest of your teammates know exactly what they're supposed to do and then go out and execute as a unit. First year in this offense, obviously under Kalen DeBoer on 2nd and 4. Justice Haynes.
So, Tom, Alabama today, as they run the football and put themselves in a comfortable third down situation here, they have run the football on consecutive downs 3 times in this game. 3. It feels to me like almost every time they've had some success on the ground, they immediately spread things back out, try to go to the air. 2 of those 3 runs, the second time, have been for touchdowns.
Both of those in the red zone. Now looking at a 3rd and 2. Bama has converted 40% of its third down chances, and this one's going to back them up, it looks like. So you go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7.
Came into this game with 8 penalties on defense, 19 penalties on offense. It's a new scheme. It's a new system. There's new verbiage. Takes some time to get used to, but those type of mistakes, especially in these situations, just cannot happen.
Third down 7. Timeout taken by Vanderbilt.
Before the play, timeout.
I kind of thought watching Vanderbilt move around that the chaos was by design.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Certainly not.
I think the confusion there was number 80, Josh Cuevas for Alabama, maybe identified as a receiver early, and then some confusion as to, okay, no, that's a tight end. So then you either have the wrong personnel grouping in.
Yeah, so explain that to people, the difference between facing 11 personnel versus 12, 1 tight end or 2 on the field.
Well, it changes to your personnel, number 1. I want bigger personnel in because you're probably just going to motion him back into the line of scrimmage and run the football. And then you'll have a size, weight, strength advantage on my defense. So if that was misidentified first, you try to realign to it. You don't have the bodies to realign the way that you want to.
So now Bama looking at a 3rd and 7. Where do you think they go?
You and I learned about a specific route combination that you brought up earlier in the broadcast where the running back is the first read. I would test the middle of the field against this defense here because you're getting off coverage. I think you're going to have leverage to be able to find space there.
Justice Haynes is the running back on this one. Milroe looking deep. Down the sideline. It is caught by Williams. He springs free. And he is in for an Alabama touchdown. A 58-yard catch and run for the emerging superstar. How did he not get out of bounds? How did he not step over the line even before the ball got to him?
I'm sorry, you said emerging? Look at the body control. You cannot be serious. Half of his body's out of bounds when he's on his way down after catching the football. This is Lynn Swann stuff here. Forgive me for those that don't have any idea, but Tom Kubik will be proud of the reference.
What a move by Ryan Williams, who reclassified, should be a high school senior right now.
But Tom, he just makes it look so easy. His high school coach, Jeff Kelly, played quarterback at Southern Miss. He told me, Cole, I used to chew him out in practice because I thought he was loafing. I thought he was going half speed. But it turns out he wasn't. He just makes it look that easy.
So Bama strikes back. 4 plays, 75 yards. And Williams covers the last 58. Graham Nicholson with the point after. It's a 2-point game again.
I said try the middle of the field. I thought you'd have space to be able to pick up first down yardage. You get one-on-one on the outside with a receiver that you obviously trust. Ryan Williams going up to make that catch, and then I don't know how, like you said, Tom, how do you stay in bounds? And then that acceleration right there at the end is what we talked about a little bit earlier with what he's able to do getting back to full speed. So stop, jump, land, full speed immediately. Remember, rate of force development, 0.15 seconds it takes, according to strength coach David Ballou, for Ryan Williams to get to his full force displacement, basically. So whatever 0 to 60 is, his 0 to 120 is 0.15.
It allows for immediate change of direction, recovering to your full speed. It's a wide receiver with Barry Sanders type moves.
Let me explain this a little bit differently. Coach Ballou told me the only comp that he has had at Alabama would be Jalen Waddle. That's it. Where he is on that chart, where his numbers are, on that graph.
Number 3 for Alabama is
You're
now
saying
number
that
10.
as if Alabama has a history of great wide receivers. No return for Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia was able to extend the Vandy lead on that last possession, converting a 4th and short with a shot to the end zone. Vandy takes another shot, but they have not wobbled.
Well, if there's a gentleman playing college football that is just flat out not going to get rattled by anything that you do, it's number 2 in black. He just flat out don't care.
Pavia 11 of 15 for $163 and a touchdown today. Vandy 0 in its program history against the number 1 team. And off to Alexander.
And Tom, that's the little difference that you talked about, what that play sets up. It's not the fact that you gain 2 yards, 3 yards. But guess what? Tim Beck keeps coming back to it. They're going to continue to test the middle of that defense because they know the attention that it attracts. And that is his tell. That's his poker hand, basically. It's going to make you show how you're defending that, which opens up everything else that he wants to do around it.
Malachi Moore walks all the way up to about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage from his safety spot. Option, a shovel pass again to Stowers, and it's another first down. Stowers past midfield, and he finally gets ridden down in Alabama territory. A 34-yard shovel pass to Stowers. It has the crowd in the Vandy section, which is limited, on its feet here this afternoon.
Third quarter.
3 quarters in. Kalen DeBoer's team up against the ropes. Vanderbilt trying to make history. Never before have they beaten a top 5 team, but here on the West End, they go to the 4th quarter with the lead against number 1. Welcome back to SEC football, presented by Sonic. Moments ago, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer with Alyssa Lang.
Coach, what'd you just say to your guys to start the 4th quarter?
Just keep playing. You know, the ball's on the 40 still. Yeah, we don't want to give that play up, but keep competing, keep playing. There's a quarter left to go. You know, we're moving the ball up and down the field. Just make every yard, make every point hard, and worry about the next play.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yep.
Well, they made that play hard, just 1 yard on first down for Vanderbilt after the fantastic catch and run by Eli Stowers, a former 4-star quarterback. There's some talent on that bench, but Alabama has seen the talent limited to the sideline for a good chunk of this game. 2nd down 9. Monty Jones is the running back. Stowers is the wing back, top of the formation. Jet sweep. No, Pavia's got it. And that'll set up 3rd and 1. The sleight of hand for Diego Pavia is the key to this offense. And he's so well versed in this offense. There are times where Tim Beck just lets him go, lets him call it.
He told us about the end of the Georgia State game where they were having some issues with the helmet communication, and he just took it. Tim Beck told us he could call the whole thing if he wanted to.
Yeah, he added tongue-in-cheek. He goes, I hope he doesn't call as good a game as I do. 3rd and less than 1 out of the shotgun. Newberry is the running back. Newberry's got a first down. He's got more, and he takes it inside the 20. Pickup of 12. They've gone big yardage when they've needed little yardage.
Tom, we've talked about edge defenders getting frozen. A nice double team here as well to open up that space by the left side of the offensive line. Gunnar Hansen at left tackle 55. But that's why you keep coming back to it. That's why you hand the ball off in the A gap and the B gap, because the defenders have to play that read certain ways. You see how they're playing it, and then you attack it again.
A.J. Newberry behind Pavia in the pistol. Pavia calls his own number and stumbles forward just shy of 15.
Well, that was a massive collision. between A.J. Newberry and Jahad Campbell, as Newberry just turned into a lead blocker on this play.
And by the way, number 8, Devontae Smith, took the worst part of this one at the end and has to come off the field.
Excuse me, it was Smith.
Yeah, took a helmet to
Newberry.
the thigh.
We didn't even think Devontae Smith was going to play in this game.
Was limited to practice Thursday in Tuscaloosa. Shift out of the inverted wishbone and find room on the right tackle. Another big hit as Cedric Alexander spins after taking the lick from Deontay Lawson.
So now, Tom, you see you stay in the same family, but you take your other up back and put him to the right. I mean, this is almost some UNLV go-go offense stuff here formationally that Tim Beck's starting to do. And then you pull the guard back around with those 2 blockers. From a numbers perspective, very difficult to fit that type of a run.
3rd down 3. They've run it 6 out of 7 plays on this drive. Pavia looking to throw. Nope, it's a draw. A pump fake and a flag on the plays. He delivers to the sideline, and it is a Vandy touchdown if it stands. The former walk-on Richie Hoskins. But this one's coming back. There are 2 flags down. There is one in the secondary that's down.
Holding on the offense, number 50. A 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot with the replay of 3rd down.
It's a right tackle, Chase Mitchell.
Here's 50, left tackle. Most likely going to be when Pavia decides, there you go, the little yank. And that's one that absolutely prevents the defender from chasing the ball carrier. Good call. Golly, I can't believe I just said that.
3rd and 13 for Vanderbilt. Kicker has a strong but inconsistent leg. Bama brings only 4. Nearly another hold. Pavia takes off down the sideline and gets tackled from behind. And that'll bring up 4th down.
It's a great decision by Diego Pavia not to force this football. Think about situationally where you are in the game. Yanze Pierre, 42 for Alabama. Excellent individual pass rush off the left side. Pavia eludes. No need to force that football in, try and take the points.
So here's Brock Taylor, who missed one from about this distance in the 2nd overtime at Missouri last time out. 33-yard attempt. That time he missed it left. Pressure on his shoulders here. And he absolutely drills it. 10:35 left in regulation. Unranked Vanderbilt 33. Number 1 Alabama 28. Clark Lee plays it right down the middle. Ryan Williams are going to have to invent a brand new controller.
What kind of video games is our guy Ryan McGee buying?
Pong. He's a big time Pong guy.
Didn't know you had to be 18 to buy that.
Well, last week he kept an Alabama comeback after they failed behind in the 4th quarter on this catch from Jalen Milroe. The body control was impeccable. What impressed you the most about the catch this afternoon? All of it. I got you.
He didn't grow up as a receiver is what's wild about it. He grew up as a quarterback. His cousin was a quarterback, played in college. They thought he was going to kind of be next in that lineage. He was actually asked to stay after practice going into week 1 of his first game, his freshman season, when he was the backup quarterback.
Milroe has time over the middle. That's caught. They utilize their tight ends beautifully. C.J. Dupree.
West Virginia wide receiver Gerald Williams was on that team. Asked him to stay after practice, had a bad practice. Ryan goes out, throws some passes, and they were looking for a second receiver. Jeff Kelly, his high school coach, told me, and said he saw him watch him run one route, and he knew immediately he was their guy.
Milroe to the perimeter again. This is Jeremy Bernard. Well, Ryan Williams is impressive enough that he got Serena Williams tweeting about him. I guess after that catch, maybe Venus needs to do the same.
He might need to. Chris Abrams-Drain was his cousin that played quarterback at Spanish Fort. He grew up within a 300-yard radius of Cordell Flott and Velus Jones.
Oh, my gosh.
So those three hung out together growing up. He was always the youngest and the smallest.
Milroe directing, and he gets drilled. Lost the football. Jalen Milroe gives it up. Miles Capers delivered the hit. They say Vanderbilt football. Isa Wataba came out with it after Capers delivered the hit of the day in college football.
Capers rushing on the left side of your screen. 29. And you see Pritchett just get a little overextended, stops moving the feet so he doesn't get depth, and that allows Capers to get upfield and bend that corner on Jalen Milroe, who never saw him coming. You see the overextension there, actually goes down, and Capers has the wherewithal not just to get the sack, but to swat that football out on his way down.
Wataha, before he came to Vandy, who recovered the fumble, was making plays for the Cologne Crocodiles. That's Cologne, Germany. Swimming, crew, tennis, and now a play to perhaps knock off number one. 9:36 remaining. Pavia keeps it. And Diego Pavia takes it past midfield for a pickup of 5. What should the stress level be for Alabama fans at this moment?
I would not be comfortable in my recliners if I was watching this football game hoping for an Alabama win.
Oh, they got out of the recliners a long time ago. Pavia hands it off to Cedric Alexander, and that will set him up with a 3rd and 2.
Think back to what you said last series, Tom, that analytics book. What is it telling offensive coordinator Tim Beck right now? Is this 4th down territory? Most likely want to keep the football on the ground either way. Run as much clock as possible, as Alabama has all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout.
There's some frustration for sure on the Alabama sideline. 10 times in 16 tries, Vandy has converted a 3rd down. They've also converted a 4th. Pavia rolls out, pumps to the right, and dumps it to Stowers for a 1st down. Eli Stowers has his 6th catch. He's over 100 yards on the day, and another drive extender for number 9.
Keep in mind, folks, just a tight end Tim Beck, offensive coordinator, described to us as still learning the position. Boy, to be able to go down, get your hands underneath that football and secure possession. An excellent job by Eli Stowers. Doesn't overrun the route, gives himself an opportunity to come back to the football and convert the 1st down. And a nice job by Pavia not throwing the initial read.
That is the 4th 3rd down catch for Eli Stowers in this game. Remember the shovel pass he took for a 1st down? Pavia throws, back shoulder catch, and a 1st down for Vandy inside the 15. Quincy Skinner. It is Vanderbilt with the swagger this afternoon.
He has inside leverage, but doesn't take it. A nice move. North-south, Diego Pavia understands exactly where to deliver that football in man coverage. But that's just confidence, Tom, by a quarterback knowing his receiver is going to break that route back, come back to the football, put it right there on his back shoulder. Excellent throw.
Vandy has run 65 plays to Alabama's 38. They have controlled this game with their offense. Pavia with the pitch on the option. Junior Sherrill out of bounds. Now set up 2nd and short.
What's eye-opening is the comfort level that Diego Pavia has with his mastering the manipulation of this offense. Getting in and out of the fakes, manipulating the mesh, pulling the ball out, pitching the ball. Now, have there been a couple that have gone awry this year? Yes, because he has that kind of confidence that he can make any little touch pass or any pitch. But right there you see just how masterful he can be inside this offense.
It's a Vanderbilt team that has lost on the road to both Missouri and Georgia State. 2-2 on the year. They opened it with an upset win against Virginia Tech. Movement on the right side. Pardon me, timeout taken.
Vanderbilt.
Chance to think, to marinate. And if you're a Bama fan, to stress. Under 6 to go. Vandy driving again.
SEC Network Football is presented by the all-new Sonic Smasher. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Vandy trying to make some history today, both in their programs and to knock down #1, and it hasn't happened very often. The #1 ranked Alabama team has lost to an unranked opponent. 64-3. And Diego Pavia can put his name alongside State's John Bond in 1980 and A&M's Zach Calzada in 21 as a quarterback to do so. 2nd and 1. Pavia gives it up. A churn for Alexander. He has stood up at the line. Bama's trying to punch that thing loose. And they say forward progress stopped at the line of scrimmage. Now 3rd and 1.
Wouldn't be surprised if you stay in that family. A read play with Pavia potentially keeping it off tackle with how Alabama has squeezed the last few of those runs inside.
Tom Hartcole, Kublik, Alyssa Lang down on the sideline. Vanderbilt has never knocked off the #1 team in the country. 0-10 all time.
This is where I love just getting Diego Pavia out on the perimeter, Tom. Give him an option, let him run, be the playmaker that he is.
Got Alexander next to him. Little replay. Pavia throws. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Kadron Johnson with the catch, and Vandy extends its lead. This offense, when run right, can be unstoppable. You think they're going to zig, and they zag, and they go to Johnson. The Lil U's backup tight end. It's an 11-point Vandy lead with a point after coming. Diego Pavia was unwanted coming out of high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He begged to play for his home state team. The Lobos never talked to him. To junior college for a couple of years. Had an opportunity to walk on at Texas Tech. Said, I think I'm better than that. 2 years at New Mexico State, and now directing what could be the upset of the year in college football.
Diego Pavia, the master of manipulation, off the play fake to Cameron Johnson. Former Theodore Bobcat prowling into the end zone for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Lothridge, quarterback at Georgia Tech in '62. John Bond, quarterback for Mississippi State in 1980. Zach Calzada in 21 for Texas A&M. Those are the only 3 quarterbacks to engineer a win as an unranked team against #1 Alabama. Diego Pavia says, put me on that list. No return for Alabama. Here's Alyssa Lang.
This Vanderbilt sideline is so juiced up right now. Corday Sidnor, who was back in the Missouri game a couple of weeks ago, has been a huge addition to this Vanderbilt defense. Just went around and said, this is where we finish it. Then the entire offensive line came over to the defense and they said, right here, right now. Jerry Kill said, boys, this is where you buckle up. End this right here. They want to get the ball back to their offense and quickly.
Well, game day went to Berkeley. Why can't Vandy beat #1? Jalen Milrose, 15 of 20, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That pick found the end zone for Vandy on Alabama's first possession. Long throw to the perimeter and a 5-yard gain to the tight end, Josh Cuevas. We watched film with Kalen DeBoer in his office on Thursday afternoon, and what he constantly harped on was Jalen Milroe building his confidence and throwing in rhythm. Forced out of rhythm here, has to run, unloads deep. 2 men there it is, caught at the sideline, Jeremy Bernard. It covers 50 yards in the air, and Bama's got a first down at the 20.
What a grab. Almost a little bit of a scramble drill. He gets the foot down. Taking this hit, holding on to that ball.
Bama is without 2 of its top receivers at this point. Kendrick Law did not dress for this game, didn't make the trip with an injury. And Kobe Prentice left with an injury in the second quarter of this one. And Bernard, who is a reliable receiver.
Rolling on the field is a catch. That play is under video review.
To say the least, during his time with the Washington Huskies playing for Kalen DeBoer.
Tom, is this almost a little bit of David Tyree, Tyrone Protho ball on the helmet as he's going down?
No,
to secure this thing?
Was it secure? I don't think it was. I think it was secure all the way.
The important part is he survives the ground,
yeah,
which has to happen. This is where you might see it kind of on his helmet for a moment right there. Just incredible concentration. Jeremy Bernard had Roma Dunze 92 for 1640.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a catch, first down.
Jalen Polk 69 for 1159 in front of him a year ago. He couldn't be the feature receiver. Talking to this staff, Jamarcus Shepard, wide receiver coach for Alabama, he said, trust me, he's that guy. He can definitely be that guy for us.
Well, Ryan Williams, number 2, has been that guy. He's at the bottom of the formation, outside the logo. 4.5 minutes to play. Bama's got 3 timeouts remaining. Down 12. Milroe and QB draw. Plenty of room. And he gets taken down by Brian Longwell.
Tom, that is an excellent play by Byron Longwell because Justice Haynes had him squared up about 5 yards downfield.
Now 2nd and 2. Milroe pumps right. Everybody covered. And he gets rid of it for a first down, catching Cole Adams. First and 10 from the 11 for Alabama.
That mesh concept very valuable for Alabama against Georgia. Going back to it there, Miller has to get through his entire progression, be able to make a positive play out of it.
Another QB run. Milroe tries to hurdle through the gap and just made it back to the line of scrimmage.
Linus Zunk folding down inside to help make that stop.
2nd and 10. Milroe's got all day. Lobs back corner, incomplete. Trying to find Ryan Williams, who changed directions about 4 times on that route.
If you're Jalen Milroe here, you don't want to fall back into some of the habits from a season ago where you begin to look to run a little bit too early. That's where he's made big strides this year, Tom. Staying in the pocket, staying with those progressions, surveying the field, and delivering accurate footballs.
Down 12, field goal does nothing for you.
Screen.
And they get it off inside the 5, down to the 2 goes Miller. And it'll be right near the first down marker. We'll see where the spot is. Offense will stay on the field, looking at a 4th and short. Milroe under center. Clark Lee begging for a timeout, didn't get it. He did. He got the timeout before Milroe converted the QB sneak, which would have been at least a first down.
Timeout, Vanderbilt. This is their final charge timeout of the half.
Well, Clark Lee was a fullback in his playing days. He looked like a flanker sprinting down the sideline to get that timeout called right before the snap occurred.
Well, heads up play from Jalen Milroe. Nick Sheridan, Alabama offensive coordinator, also rushed to the line of scrimmage. Go ahead and sneak that across, like you said, Tom. Maybe first down yardage. If not, into it for a touchdown, but Clarkley, understanding the situation, gets that timeout. And Alabama faces 4th down again.
You played offensive line in this league. You line up for a 4th and 1 as a #1 team in the country. Kind of pride occurs with the big uglies up front.
You get in a 4-point stance. You get your cleats in the ground. You blow a couple snot bubbles out. You trade some paint and try to get your quarterback across 1st down yardage, maybe into the end zone.
I have no problem with that, except now your snot bubbles are on your tie.
I'll get them on the defender.
Haven't knocked off Alabama since '84. That was in Tuscaloosa. Haven't won at home against Alabama since 1976. What do you like here?
You mentioned the 1st down yardage. I like to sneak. I've got Jaden Roberts, Tyler Booker, Parker Brailsford, low center of gravity, but you're in shotgun. Do you just go quarterback inside zone here?
Justice Haynes is the running back. 4th and 1. Game on the line for Alabama late. They reverse it out of there looking for the corner, and it is Ryan Williams into the end zone. 2-yard touchdown run for the fantastic freshman Ryan Williams. His 2nd touchdown of the game.
Tom, you are an absolute buffoon for the rest of your life if this does not work. You are a complete genius if it does. Nick Sheridan had been holding on to that play call, and it was a beauty.
So for the point after, it's Graham Nicholson. Ryan Williams is an absolute superstar. What a weapon for this Alabama team. This is the catch that set it up when Jalen Milroe went scrambling out of the pocket and was able to find Jeremy Bernard.
Tom, you can talk about Alabama playing within the structure, the scheme. The thing that sticks out to me about this team this year is they have big players that make big plays. I don't have to go review what happened against Georgia. Jeremy Bernard right there making a big play, and then Ryan Williams, fantastic. I might give the big play to offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan on that one. Just a brilliant play call.
2:46 remaining. Alabama has all 3 timeouts. Would you consider an onside kick in this scenario?
Some of that's going to depend on your kicker and the confidence that you have in how he's operated it, how he's managed it.
Last successful onside kick occurred for Alabama in the College Football National Championship game against Clemson, January of 2016.
You have the 2-minute timeout and all 3 timeouts, but you're facing an offense that has been able to maintain possession today. They've had the ball for over 39 minutes this afternoon.
Vandy has run 22 more plays in Alabama today. Connor Talty will put it on a tee. Looks like Vandy has their hands team on the field. That includes Eli Stowers, number 9, who's had a huge game for this Vanderbilt team. And a line drive handled at the 14-yard line. And taking a knee is junior Sherrill, no risk. 5-point lead for the Vanderbilt Commodores, and Diego Pavia, whose playlist includes a 2012 Texas A&M win against Alabama. He uses it as motivation because Johnny Manziel is the man who turned him on to SEC football every Saturday afternoon back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, including the big A&M win against Bama with Manziel in 2012. And Pavia putting up similar numbers, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's also run for 51.
Tommy told us he's watched that game over 100 times. I asked him, you take a peek at it again this week? He said, yeah, absolutely. Had to watch it again.
It's part of his pregame routine. Alexander in the back of the bone. Play action. Pavia keeps it. And he goes down for a loss. Jahad Campbell with the tackle. Timeout taken by Alabama. This is a Vanderbilt team that's put the ball on the ground 7 times this year. They've only lost 1 of those fumbles. But I just feel like that play specifically was a little too conservative with 2:37 remaining in the 2-minute timeout.
But keep in mind also that can set up a lot of other things. Look what Alabama just did on the goal line with a bit of a reverse. We know Pavia has the ability to hand that off. I mean, that's just kind of a direct quarterback sweep right there. You want to play it a little bit safe. But as we have talked about, I've hammered this with Tim Beck this entire game. His first down play calls have been to identify how Alabama has been playing his offense. And he has operated off of that in a brilliant fashion. So you saw the defenders at the line of scrimmage, the defenders in the alley overcrowding off tackle where Diego Pavia wanted to go. We'll see how Tim Beck counters that here with this call.
Long option history with Tim Beck. Going back to studying Turner Gill and the belly option at Nebraska. On 2nd and 12. Pavia dumps it off, room up the sideline, and a Vanderbilt first down for Cedric Alexander. A gain of 19. First down, Vandy with 2:22 and rolling. Bama's going to let this thing roll to the 2-minute timeout. And the Tide will have a pair of timeouts remaining after. This is turned in to Kalen DeBoer versus Diego Pavia. And the sub-6-foot quarterback from the land of enchantment has won the battle thus far. Can Vandy hold on for the final 2 minutes? Clark Lee and Vanderbilt trying to make history this afternoon in Nashville. And this trend, 0-60 all time against the top 5 and never beating a #1 team, is exclamated by the fact that they've given up 35 points today. #1 teams that score 35 against unranked teams are 364-2 all time. 07 Arkansas, 21 A&M. Only 2 unranked teams to do that. First and 10 for Pavia. He hands it off. Big road left side and a first down for the Commodores. Cedric Alexander. The clock will run. Bama could stop it twice. And Bama will let it go. Another first down, and Vandy can take a knee and go into victory formation against the #1 team for the first time. Pavia with the handoff to Alexander. He's to the logo, and now Alabama will use a quick timeout. Let's take you back to 2021. College Station, Texas, #1 Alabama on a 19-game win streak. Zach Calzada threw for 3 touchdowns. And Seth Small banged through the walk-off field goal as Nick Saban and Alabama went down. The last time and one of only 3 times that a #1 Alabama team has lost to an unranked opponent. Remember, the talk going into that game was Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban and all the off-season war of words that they had gotten into. No such thing here. No drama between Bama and Vandy except for the scoreboard. Clark Lee said, I'm tired of losing. We're going to find a way to redefine how we run this program to get our best players on the field to be able to compete. They didn't win a conference game last year.
How about he told us, Tom, we are finally on the climb. I feel like we've actually left base camp here for the first time with what his team's doing this season.
Jalen Milroe stuck on the bench again, even with a stop here. Best case, Bama could get it with 20-ish seconds remaining in regulation. Down 5. Pavia keeps it. Pavia picks up the first down, and the unlikeliest of heroes has guided Vanderbilt to what will be its first ever win against #1. The Vanderbilt fans were outnumbered. Diego Pavia has been overlooked. Clark Lee has tried to build a winner but come up short. And now Kalen DeBoer knows the sting of a loss as Alabama's head coach for the first time. Tears among the Pavia family in the stands. I asked Diego Pavia what would a win against #1 Alabama mean, and he just kind of shook his head. He said, this is what I dreamed of, playing in the SEC, doing what Johnny Manziel did, proving that I belong. And he has done all that and more today. Cole, you hit on it early. It's not just his mastery of this offense. It's the attitude that he plays with that Clark Lee has infused in this program after a few years of spinning their wheels.
Clark Lee said he has an unbelievable ability to rally people around him. It's not just the offense, it's the defense, it's the entire team. He has a believability about himself that motivates everybody on his side. And Tom, you weren't just saying that as satire. He told you he actually had a dream about playing in the Southeastern Conference and doing things like this.
Second half, he was magical. It'll be the most points by an unranked team against AP #1. Pardon me, the 5th most all time. And they will count down this Vanderbilt win. Bama will become just the 4th AP #1 team to lose to an unranked opponent a game after defeating a top 2 opponent.
Now Diego Pavia, the one keeping his composure.
There's a flag on the play. What a feeling this must be for Clark Lee. Played here at Vanderbilt. Came here from Notre Dame after directing a top 10 defense year after year. He knew the challenge that was in front of him, leading this Moorbound program and trying to figure out how to operate with the transfer portal and NIL taking players away to other programs. He said, we've been a year behind everybody since I got here in that regard.
Tom, we know the inherent difficulties here at Vanderbilt, but like you said, he completely rewired this program in the offseason, almost hit the reset button.
The play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense #13 for kicking the ball. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot. That carries an automatic first down. Since the game clock is running, this penalty also carries a 10-second runoff.
10-second runoff. It's all academic anyway. Clark Lee said, we now run this program with attention to detail, leading to one thing. Everything that we do is to win a game. That wasn't the case as they tried to build it the previous 3 years.
Talk to us about some of those wicked learning environments that he's had to put himself through and have a better understanding of to get to that point that you mentioned, Tom. All directions pointing to how we can stack more W's.
He said every decision we make, every penny we spend goes towards winning. And what an investment they've made in Diego Pavia, this attitude, this program, and the biggest win on the West End. Vanderbilt takes down #1 Alabama. Diego Pavia very nearly went into the stands to celebrate with his brothers, but instead they've come onto the field with him. And the rest of the students will do the same. Somewhere in that maelstrom is Alyssa Lang. Alyssa Lang will become the only one seemingly to stop Diego Pavia today. Into the chaos, Alyssa.
Diego, you just beat the #1 team in the country. What's going through your mind right now?
It's literally all God's timing, literally from the jump. God gave me a vision when I was a little kid, and he don't let that, and he promises it's God's time. Like, I'm super thankful for guys like Eli Stowers. Man, that kid's incredible. For the rest of our team, look at this. Look at this. Daddy, we're fucking turned.
Diego, what were you saying to your team to finish this game?
Shit. Games like this change your life, you know what I mean? It's all about hype nowadays, and I don't like it like that, but it's a reality of NAL and all that stuff, but I just stay grounded, be where my feet are, and every single day tomorrow I got to work on Kentucky.
You had 70 family members here. What did it mean to do this in front of them?
Where they at? Where they at? Where's the family at? Where's the family at? Come on!
We got Coach Lee here as well. Coach! Country, what is going through your mind right now?
Too much to express right now. I'm proud of our team. I believe in our team. I believe in what we're building. There's more for us than this. This isn't a finish point, but it's a hell of an arrival for tonight. We'll celebrate it. I love this university. I love this team. Let's go get some more.
You've talked about getting this program to a place where they finish. What did it take for them to finish this one?
I think it took everything we had. That's a really good football team, but this is the dream right here. And for the next 12 hours, I'm going to enjoy the dream. We got more ahead of us, but this is what Vanderbilt football needs to be about. Big wins on big stages. We're going to go get some more.
Did you ever imagine that bringing Diego Pavia here would end in this?
Every time he touches the ball, we have a chance. I love him in so many ways. He embodies the program that we're building, and tonight he deserves this stage. I'm proud of him, love him, and I'm glad he's our quarterback.
Congratulations, Coach. Go celebrate.
Thanks so much. Anchor down.
What a contrast in emotion, what a contrast in personality from Diego Pavia to Clark Lee. Clark, the college fullback, a monotone voice, and Diego Pavia is a volcano, and he has just erupted. We asked Clark Lee yesterday when Diego Pavia left our meeting room and Clark Lee walked in. I said, how do you control him? He just shrugged his shoulders. He said, I don't think I can. Maybe that's a good thing. It is history for Vanderbilt today. A 40-35 victory in the Commodores behind Diego Pavia, the unlikeliest of heroes in college football, get their first ever win against #1. And they send notice to all of college football. They have arrived. Vandy, 40, Bama, 35. For Alyssa Lang, Cole Kublik, I'm Tom Hart. Enjoy the rest of your college football weekend. Now to the studio.